quarantine o ECQ ay may mga estudyanteng na stranded sa kani-kanilang dorm at hindi makauwi sa kani-kaniyang probinsya. Linggo-linggong ayuda mula sa iba't ibang benepisyaryo, maging sa bulsa ng mga empleyado at faculty members ang naipamigay sa mga nasabing estudyante.
Una po sa lahat, nagpapasalamat po kami sa PUP kasi malaking tulong po yung nabibigay nila sa amin na hindi lang kami po ay hindi po nakakauwi. Natutulungan po nila kami sa aming pagkain sa araw-araw. Every week po silang nagbibigay sa amin ng ayuda po, lalo na po yung mga tao sa admin po.
When the pandemic started and I didn't have food as well, but when I knew that PUP will distribute food for stranded students from PUP, I was extremely excited and I felt really lucky.
Sa tulong din ng Armed Forces of the Philippines at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno, ay may naiuwi ring mga estudyante sa kani-kanilang pamilya.
Fortunately, OAA, they did their best to have us finish every document to renew our student visa. After a few weeks, we finished the document of my student's visa. I received a news from Vietnam that they will send a repatriation flight from the Philippines to rescue Vietnamese people here.
Sa darating na pasukan ay haharap ang buong universidad sa new normal. Sasalubungin ng mga estudyante, administrador at kaguruan ang tinatawag na FlexTel o Flexible Technology Enhanced Learning. Sinisigurado ng FlexTel na walang estudyante ang mapag-iiwanan sa pagbibigay ng kalidad na edukasyon. Sa FlexTel ay hindi lamang iisang forma ng delivery ang gagamitin ng mga kaguruan para masiguradong lahat ng estudyante kabilang sa iba't ibang antas ng lipunan ay makapag-aaral. Ilan dito ay ang face-to-face learning sa panahon na maaari nang magbukas ang mga eskwelahan, nasisiguraduhin ang kaligtasan ng mga estudyante at guro sa pamamagitan ng physical distancing, iba't ibang health and hygiene measures, bawas na bilang ng araw na pagpasok, at mas maliit na bilang ng estudyante sa classroom. Online na maaaring synchronous o asynchronous learning na re-respeto sa ekonomikal na kakayahan ng estudyante. At digital at off-grid na magpapadala ng instructional material sa mga estudyanteng walang gadget o walang kakayahang kumonek sa internet dahil sa ekonomikal na estado ng kanilang pamilya o lugar. Dinedevelop na rin ng mga kaguruan ang instructional materials para sa iba't ibang klase na tutugon sa pangangailangan ng mga estudyante sa new normal. Kabilang sa paghahanda ay ang pagmimintina ng mga classrooms, paglilinis ng mga pasilidad,
A rainy Saturday morning to each and everyone. Welcome to Art of Time Management webinar. I hope that everyone is safe after what happened earlier. Sana ay safe kayo at ang inyong buong pamilya. To start this webinar, this is brought to you by Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship 4th year student, batch 2021. I'm Aldrin. And I will be your host in this morning. I would like to remind everyone of the house rules to ensure the smooth flow of the program. Zoom participants are advised to keep their microphones and cameras off during the webinar. Please refrain from commenting derogatory and disrespectful remarks as we encourage everyone to observe utmost respect and consideration at all times. Use the Zoom chat box and Facebook comment box for your questions. The moderator will address the question to the resource speaker. Release of e-certificates will be on the evaluation responsive. Evaluation link will be accepting responses within 24 hours. And finally, e-certificates will be sent through email after 5 working days upon accomplishment of submission of the evaluation form. Before we start, let us take a moment of prayer afterwards singing the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
There you go. And now I would like to appreciate our participants as well as our resource speakers who came in this program. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for taking time of your rainy Saturday morning. I would also like to recognize the committees from OJT training program in PUP OUS who organized this webinar to hone students in developing further knowledge and skills and reach out to more employees out there to join us in the open university system. Okay, and now to formally begin our program, please join me in welcoming Dr. Cheryl Espinosilla, one of the core specialists here in PUP Open University System for opening remarks.
Thank you, Aldrin. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maulan pero magandang umaga pa din. Kay Dr. Carmencita L. Castolo, ang ating Executive Director para sa PUP Open University System. Kay Dr. Rose Maribeth R. Dizon, ang ating Director para sa Institute of Open and Distance Education. Kay Professor Jerome P. Dumlao, ang ating Program Chair para sa BS Entrepreneurship. Kay Dr. Diana Lee Tracy K. Chan, ang ating Quality Assurance and OJT Coordinator. Sa aking mga kapwa course specialist, sa mga estudyante na nandito na sana ay samantalahin at makinig ng mabuti. At higit sa lahat sa mga speakers na nagbigay sa atin ng oras ngayon. A few weeks ago, I received a clip from a good friend of mine, of a priest from Santo Tomas, Pampanga, asking what is the difference between the rich and the poor. the good and the bad. Probably, contrary to what you have in mind, the priest answered, time. He further explains that the rich buys time. That's why he pays salary to his employees. The poor sells his time. The very reason why we receive payments based on the number of hours we work. On the other hand, the good gives his time unconditionally with love, while the bad wastes his time. Such a beautiful comparison of the people that we have nowadays. And today, let us journey together as we learn more about time, its art, its management. And probably at the end of the day, we will be able to figure out where we belong. Are we the rich? Are we the poor? Are we the good or the bad? With this, let me formally open our webinar, The Art of Time Management. Muli, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Cheryl Espinosilla, to your warm welcoming message. At sa lahat po na may mga katanungan at any point during the webinar, feel free to type your queries sa chat box below dahil may question and answer tayo after mag-discuss ng ating mga guest speakers. Okay, let's start our topic for today, which is the Art of Time Management webinar. It will focus on how the participants can develop or improve their time management, which is very relevant at for sure halos lahat tayo na experience ang conflict when it comes to managing our own time, di ba? And now, let me introduce to you our first resource speaker for today. He is currently the Director Knowledge Architecture of Asia Pacific Engagement Lead Global Commercial Operations at Pfizer Incorporated, a global director with 17 years of combined professional experience in various roles such as sales, marketing, public affairs and communications, trainings, and global commercials operations, mostly in biopharmaceutical company, proven ability in successfully leading and organizing global projects and initiatives, working with diverse and multicultural colleagues, clients, and vendors that requires influence without authority, expose in change agile environment and creativity, is skillful in utilizing change management tools and communications, a part-time professor in reputable universities in the Philippines, such as our alma mater, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, De La Salle University College of St. Benilde, and San Beda College, an advocate of simplicity, inclusion, research, and outcome-based learning. Put your hands together for our first resource speaker. We are so lucky to have him today, Mr. Dave Vincent Mangilet. Good morning po, Sir Dave.
Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I hope everybody is safe and dry. Of course, I know that there has been an earthquake early this morning. Hindi ko po naramdam sa sarap ng aking pagkakatulog. Pero sana po ay lahat kayo ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. It's nice to be back. Thank you, Dr. Espinosilla, for inviting me. So I'm also a PUP graduate and it's nice to serve and be of service to our fellow PUPians out there. So maraming salamat po. And today we'll be talking about the art of time management. Napakaganda nung opening message ni Doc Cheryl, no? Kasi parang bigla tuloy gusto ko magpalit ng slides, no? But let me help you understand that when we talk about the art, no, it's about we continuously study, no, we continuously try to determine, no, what we want and how do we want to manage or look into our time, no, and that is very important. I shared with you a while back. I've been in an experienced professional myself, and I've been doing a lot of things in my role, not just in my life, but also both in my professional and academic career. So, masyado po tayong busy, but I'm happy to share with you, just recently, I finished my 16th year journey with Pfizer last June. And sabi nga nila, akala ko I'll be on a vacation, no, from June up to present. Pero I feel that it's always been busy, having speaking engagements like this, sharing time with my students. So I'm not sure if I'm in the good or in the bad side of things wasting my time or allocating my time for others. But just to tell you, no, my dream is to really make sure that I utilize my energy and my resources to ensure that we always give the benefit for everybody, no, and we share the blessings to everyone. So let me start, no, by sharing this quotable quote, no, and it says, "Your future is created by what you do today, and not tomorrow." It's a very, very, I should say, interesting quote. And in addition, whenever I go to my classes, I always tell my students, if today were the last day of your life, would you really want to do what you're about to do today? So, 'di ba, napakasarap pong matulog ngayon or just be lazy in bed, 'di ba? And you are now here attending this webinar. Maybe it's required or maybe because you just want to have additional learning. I've been seeing the chat messages and we see a lot of people from different areas in the region, even outside Metro Manila and even outside the Philippines. So basically what I want to tell to you today is, you know, things that we do today is actually a matter of choice, right? And that's according to Steve Jobs, no? We want to make choices in life, right? But siguro before I proceed and before I talk about, you know, how we make those choices, let me ask you this, and you feel free to type your responses in chat. With all those things that you've heard, no, from the opening remarks and up to this time, what does it tell us about time management? What do you think time management is? Well, I call it a cliche, no? It's a Miss Universe question because we always hear the term time management, but are we really practicing time management? Diba? Are we really putting it into heart? Do we really understand what time management means? So siguro if you can type in chat and just I'll ask help from Alden here if we're getting some responses from our audience right now, just to understand and have a view on what our audience thinks about time management. Do we have responses already, Aldrin?
Um, um, Nandito po, isa po dito si Antonio and Miss Samis. He says it's for using time in progressive way. Ayun din po kay Jurado, prioritization of important things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, time management is important because it gets us ready for our future, a process in which it's a non-stop cycle of learning and living a better life. Ayon po kay Leilani Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Using time wisely and productively. Yan po ang mga nababasa natin sa ating mga
So
chat box
very
for
good
today.
insights, no? Very good insights coming from those who sent their messages through chat. Maraming salamat po. And siguro, no, I just like to challenge everyone. Pag sinabi ba nating ako I'm spending my time sleeping, does it mean that I'm not being progressive or I'm not being productive? Because sabi nga ngayon, health is wealth. And bago ka magpabakuna or even at this time, you really need to boost your immune system. Thus, you need more hours of sleep because if you keep on learning, and yes, it's good to learn and learn and learn, but if you lack sleep and you become unhealthy already, are you really using your productive amount of time? So again, I'm going back to my concept that says managing time is actually your choice. And nobody should judge you, no? I alam ko lahat tayo dito judgers, no? We would tell each other what or how and when we should use our time, but it's our choice, right? And it's our right to use our own time. And when we talk of time management, according to Oxford, it's actually defined as your ability to use the time effectively and productively. And someone shared it in chat, using it progressively, right? Now, when we talk of time management, we only not talk of just personal, but actually time management is really more on work or in school, no? That's when we use time management because I don't think that we should put time and schedule when we say spend time with family. Hindi dapat yan sinischedule lang appointment, di ba? Hindi pwedeng meron ka lang specific number of days or number of hours, no? pag meron pong kailangan kang puntahan, no, family dinner, or you need to address a family concern or anything that is personal, your health, for example, attending to a physician, going out and getting vaccinated, it's actually something that you don't really need to manage, you know. There's what we call as drop everything, di ba? Kapag personal lang pinag-uusapan, drop everything, di ba? Hindi pwedeng kailangan may appointment yan, no? It's not something that you really have to manage. That's why in the definition of Oxford Languages, it tells you that time management is used especially at work. So let me share with you my insights on three things that you should look into how you manage time. So the first thing I'd like to share with you, it's a personal approach. So while I'm saying you do this at work, you also have to put yourself into it, and that's why it's a personal approach. You also have to make it a priority. And when we say make it a priority, again, going back to the concept of choosing your priority is also very important. Last but not the least is keeping it simple. A few days ago, I gave also a talk in a webinar for HR Solutions Company, helping people understand just to keep it simple. Things are getting complicated. We're entering a new era of digitalization. And so how will we be able to address everything? And I said, we just have to keep it simple. You know, let's go back to the basics and keep it simple. So let's start with the first one, a personal approach. Time management is a personal approach. Definitely it starts with you. No? There's no way somebody would manage your own time. Kahit na ikaw ang top executive in a company, not even your secretary or your personal assistant, social, di ba? Mayaman, may personal assistant, can manage your time. Nobody can dictate how you should spend your time. It starts with you. So let me ask you this question. Is it a fact or myth? Sabi dito, you can get everything done if, one, follow the right stream, or follow the right system, use the right to-do list. And I think marami mga kakilala nyo dyan na medyo ok-ok na meron sigurong listahan of things to do. And sabi, process your task in the right way. Is it a fact or a myth? If you get these things done, will this really help you manage time? Yes, no, feel free to use the reaction buttons out there. I might not be able to see it, or even type responses in chat. And let's see whether you agree, no? And you probably are using this, but let me try to give you the response here. Actually, all of these are myth, no? It's just a myth. So even if you have a to-do list, are you saying that you're really managing your time very well? Challenging, no? So marami pong magagalit sa akin. Yung mga ok-ok dyan na talagang isa-isang nililista. Bakit myth, no? Let me give you some facts. Sabi dito, we live in a world of technology. So we live in a time when the uninterrupted stream of information and communication combined with your unceasing accessibility, like what's happening today, means that we could work every single hour of the day and night and still not keep up. It's never enough. Kaya nga kanina may nakikita ko sa webinar na nakabukas yung camera and carrying their babies, doing two things at the same time, learning and nurturing their child. For that reason, choosing what we are going to ignore may well represent the most important or most strategic time management decision of all. Now, let's try to do this, no? Think of 5 areas, sabi nila, of things that you want to focus this year. No? For though I know that we're already in the middle of the year, I want you to think of your area of focus, because that will be the reason, or 95% of your time should be spent on that. Now, you have to put it in a piece of paper and divide it into 6, diba? And make sure that you label each areas of focus. And the remaining box should just be labeled the other 5%. Okay? And make sure that you populate those boxes with specific tasks related to your areas of focus. Now let me try to answer this, no? Why are we talking of five things? Why 95% of your time? Because getting things done is all about focus. If instead of spending 95% of your time on your top 5, you only spend 80% of your time on your top 10, then you lose focus. And things will start to fall through cracks. So review your way of dealing with different tasks. Are you dealing it bits and pieces, or are you keeping your focus? Because if you're attending this webinar and probably cooking your breakfast or preparing for lunch, then and if you do not have 95% of your time here, then you're not actually spending the right time for a specific task. So if the task is to be in this webinar and learn, you should have at least 95% focus. Now, no more than 5% of your day should involve activities that don't fit into the 5 areas of annual focus. So you have to make sure, and the challenge now is sometimes, given that we're digital, certain tasks just comes in immediately, ba, without our control. But if you have the choice, you should always make sure that the 5% that we're talking about are activities that would not fit, right? You will still go through that, you will still address it, right? But of course, you will only give 5% of your time, energy, and effort. So, sabi dito, management is actually a 6-box to-do list. Oh, sabi ko kanina, myth lang yung to-do list, di ba? Pero it encourages transparency and strategic alignment, sabi, and it empowers you to be able to do much outside the areas of strategic focus. You cannot be the jack of all trades, master of none, right? So it is not just simply creating an overflowing of to-do list to make yourself proud and post it in social media and say, hey, these are the things that I've accomplished. Compared to if you've accomplished only one significant big task. So for today, if it's about just attending this webinar and learning something and putting a reflection after, that will change how you deal with things every day, you've already accomplished something, and that is enough. Tomorrow is Sunday, respective of your beliefs, religions. If your focus is really on God, then seventh day is a rest day, and that's when you spend time with God. And that's your focus. That's where you keep your focus. So what's your key takeaway? Sabi ko nga parati sa mga estudyante ko din, choose your battles, no? Ang dami nating inaabala, ang dami nating inaasikaso. You have to choose your battle. Now, you don't have to impress anyone. You have to impress yourself. And you don't owe it to your social media account, no, to post whatever you have accomplished. You owe it to yourself. That's why time management should be a personal approach. It starts with you. Now, let's talk about the second one, making it a priority. Nako, ito na. Usapang priority na, no? When and how do you make a decision? So, we're thriving in this what we call as the VUCA world. No? Sabi nila, VUCA is volatile. When we say volatile, it's the rate of change. We are at uncertain times. We're unclear about the present. We're unclear of what's going to happen today. We never knew that there's going to be tons of rain for days, floods, and the earthquake. It's very complex. You have multiple key decision factors. It's ambiguous. There's lack of clarity, meaning of an event. So even for the organizers, they could easily relate that it's ambiguous, di ba? Nobody could understand what's going to happen. Ilan kaya a-attend today? Diba? Darating kaya yung speakers natin today? No? In order to address this, we need a vision. We need understanding. we need clarity and we need agility. So VUCA to VUCA. So if you have VUCA as a concern, then you should also be able to address it with VUCA, vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. Because the problem, time is an infinite resource. 'Di ba? Sino ba magsasabing lalabas na naman si Jose Marichan anytime soon, 'di ba? Natapos na naman po ang isang taon ng pagbubunyo sa pandemyang ito, and we are actually dealing with time. Mamaya hapon na naman po, no? At linggo na naman pala bukas sa tapos na naman ang weekend, no? So the question that I have for you is, how do you spend time, 'di ba? How do you spend your time? Are you really satisfied? Are you very satisfied? Type it in chat. Reflect. Think back. Are you somewhat satisfied or you actively dissatisfied? O siguro kahit wag na tayong lumayo, no? Based from what you had experienced yesterday, where are you? Very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, or actively dissatisfied? Let me tell you this, no? In a study by McKinsey, 1,500 executives across the globe were asked. And do you know what the responses were? 9% lang ang very satisfied. Less than half is somewhat satisfied, and 52% is actively dissatisfied. So I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the chat messages, but hopefully, I don't know if you feel the same way. But again, it's very, very subjective. But this study tells you that a lot of executives are dissatisfied. Let me share with you some types of executives, no, the types or the groups of dissatisfied executives. The first type is what we call as the online junkies. They spend most of their time, here through emails, right? And with clients. So they are office centered. They spend more time emailing or motivating people. That's why they are mostly the frontline managers. The second one are the cheerleaders, where they really spend more time on face-to-face communication. No? They want to interact through meetings. Ito yung mga malulungkot ngayon, no? Or every minute may meeting. No? They just want to catch up because they have limited, time with external stakeholders. So much less likely than others who use email more frequently. Now, the third one is we call as the smoozers. Smoother is, sabi nila sa dictionary, it's a noun, no? Someone who knows how to talk to people in a friendly way. So if you look at it, they really spend time, no, with external stakeholders, but lack thinking time, neglect strategy. They talk more with people, but they lack strategy because they spend more time with clients or external stakeholders. So a few privileged employees get this face-to-face access, but there's no open door policy for the rest, no? The next one is what we call as the firefighters. So they spend much of their time responding to emergencies via email and phone and are on their own more than others. So they rarely use their time to think or to set direction. So thus we call this as the four flavors of frustration. What are the four flavors? Sabi nga natin, the online junkie, the cheerleader, the smoother, and the firefighter. So that's the reason why, and that answers the question, why 52% are dissatisfied executives, no? But the question is, let's not learn from the negative, no? How satisfied executives spend their time. Let's think about these executives more than anybody else, no? So how do they really spend their time? If you look at it, they look into by activity, by situation, or by communication channel. Survey data are based from the contribution of the respondents. So we were talking of the 1,500, almost 1,500, no? It's a survey in 2011, even before the pandemic. And you can see that mostly these are positions, general managers and above, in different regions and industries, different company sizes. And what's the similarity here? you can see that there's still interaction. But most satisfied executives wants to do it alone. So they would really want to have time for themselves to reflect and strategize. Kasi naman, yun naman po talagang trabaho nila, to be able to strategize. So what's the solution? And I know probably you know this framework. Sabi nila, decide on a priority. Sabi nila, urgent, important. Important, urgent. Important but not urgent. You know, this is a very simple framework. Some calls it the Eisenhower matrix. So it's coming from Dwight David Eisenhower. He was actually a general in the US Army and the 34th president of the United States, no, way back 1953 to 1961. Meron pa po ba dito nakaabot kay President Eisenhower? So, you know, as a five-star general and a supreme commander in the US Army, he drafted the strategy for an allied invasion of Europe. Doon yung nag-start. So he had to make tough decisions. And, you know, every time looking into tasks to prioritize out which needs focus. Remember, it's about the focus. Now, it's identifying where to prioritize, no? And thus, he came about with this prioritization matrix. So it's very simple. If it's important and urgent, do it. If it's important but not urgent, schedule it. If it's not important but urgent, delegate. Have someone else handle it. No? Someone you trust. Otherwise, if it's not important and not urgent, eliminate. So these are the actions that needs to be done. So what's the focus here? No, the focus is to focus, 'di ba? Focus on where it truly matters. And sino po makakapag-decide niyan? Nobody but you. Di ba? Sabi nga nila, it starts with you. You know where to focus. You decide which is important, which is urgent. You can only tell and define specific tasks. Kaya nga kanina, di ba? You can do it as your own reflection later. Look into your 6-box to-do list. Which is important, which is urgent. So last thing that I'd like to share with you and part of my advocacy is really to keep things simple, no? And how do we really keep things simple? It's doing it now. No? After hearing this, no, di tapos na, attendance, certificate, sabi, evaluation and get the certificates, it's done. But how do you really see the art here? It's really making sure that you do it today. So how do we keep it simple? Sabi nga nila, if you're an executive, have fewer meetings and ensure that you have a faster response time. Therefore, it should lead you to better decision outcomes. So what do I mean by that? Going back to our study kanina on satisfied executives, on how they spend their time. Focus tayo dun sa by activity, situation, and communication channel. Sabi ko, by activity, have fewer meetings. Do you have a clear agenda? Kung meron, sige, go. Have the meeting. Do I have to be in the meeting? Yes, then attend the meeting. No, don't attend the meeting. It adds stress, di ba? Kasi ngayon, going digital, mas dumami yung meeting. Napansin niyo po ba? Kung kailan tayo nasa bahay, hindi na tayo nakakatayo, no? Ihilang ang pahinga ngayon, no? Is the meeting scheduled ahead of time? Yes, then go ahead. By situation, sabi, faster response time. So how fast does it take for us to decide? And who needs to be involved? Do I need to collaborate so that I can make better decisions, no? And through communication channels, how would you be able to do better decision outcomes? Sabi, what are the business goals? Go back to the basic so that you can understand which is the priority. Is it aligned with our business priorities? If not, you don't have to decide on it now. No? Make your choices right. Thus, it's always very important to practice simplicity every day. And simplicity is never easy, ah. Hindi yan parang it's simple really. It's very complicated because number one, sabi nga natin, you need to have a personal approach, define it, understand it, plan for it, and therefore you will be able to make it simple. So the key takeaway for this very important section is practice simplicity every day, because practice really makes it perfect. It's never easy, identifying which one is urgent, making decisions, it's never easy. You need to be able to practice it. 'Di ba? Kahit nga simpleng anong ulamin natin ngayong lunch, 'di ba? Napakahirap desisyonan, 'di ba? But if you practice, then definitely practice making the right decision. Is it aligned with my objective, no? Is it aligned with my budget? Then I should be able to decide right away. So overall, when we talk of the art of time management, number one, it's a personal approach. It should start with you. And if you want to do it, you should be able to choose your battle. It's not my battle. You don't need someone to talk to. But if you can, go ahead, talk to a friend. But at the end of the day, the decision is on you. It's your battle. But you can talk to your girlfriend, to your wife, to your mom, to your dad, but it's your battle. Choose wisely. Choose your battle. Second is making it a priority. You really have to make a decision. So, if you need to make a tough decision, focus on where it truly matters. And last but not the least is just keeping it simple. You need to act now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is another day. You've already wasted time, and according to Dr. Espinosa, you are already a bad person wasting time. So you have to practice simplicity every day. So I hope you've learned from this, and I do encourage to please read my article in the Manila Times, published last year, Leadership in Virtual Work. And if you want to see and connect, you can feel free to check me out at my social media accounts. With that, thank you very much for this opportunity. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dave Vincent Mangilet, for your informative and fruitful messages. We are now open for question and answers. Everyone, you may post your question in the Zoom and chat box. And on our FB Live, Mr. Dave Vincent Mangilet will be definitely answer it for you.
Ayun po. Meron tayong nakikitang question from Sara Alcantara. Utilitarian philosopher John Stuart Mill says it's better to be a human dissatisfied than a fool satisfied, a Socrates dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. Presently, the culture of time shaming is perpetuating in modern society with respect to mental health, which I find is ludicrous pragmatically. Where do we draw the line between mental health and the prompt of necessity? Medyo
No,
bigat
parang
yan,
Miss
sir.
Universe question
Opo.
yan. No? When is it okay to be not okay?
Okay.
You know, again, it's your perspective. It's a personal approach. And I stand by what I said. It starts with you. So nobody should decide, you know, when you should be satisfied or when you should be dissatisfied. You do not owe it to your followers. You do not owe it to the public. You owe it to yourself. So I have a different view of mental health, and people will not agree. Not everybody would agree, but you owe it to yourself. We all go through struggles. Everybody goes through that level of krung-krungness, di ba? But you just need to pause, stop, reflect, and look for a divine intervention if need be. Now, the next phase is to look for someone to talk to, whom you trust, 'di ba? Whether it's positive or negative. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. It's your decision to be eaten up by mental stress. It's your decision to end up with depression. Again, it's just my point of view because I haven't been in that state, but I've been depressed, leaving Pfizer after 16 years was very painful, but I left with a happy heart also, di ba? I left at the right time wherein I was given a tribute, di ba? Parang napakasarap no na mabigyan ka ng tribute na hindi ka patay, di ba? So that means you did something good. So reflect on the positive things that will make your life better. So, hindi ba ako dapat magpaapekto na ako ngayon ay isang tambay at humihingi ng ayuda na rin sa gobyerno? Hindi naman, no? Kasi I decide no, where I want to be. Should I start looking for another job? Should I really, look into how I could manage my personal life and spend time with my dogs, spend time with my brothers and my sisters. Sabi ko nga kung kailan ako walang trabaho, saka ako walang time din eh. Parati pa rin sarado yung pintuan ko kasi I still spend time teaching, I spend time speaking, but that's my passion and that keeps me happy, abreast, and positive. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Jem?
Question for Kate Bambilia. What are your practical advice for those people having problems, sir, with procrastination?
Nako, I'm not a fan of procrastination really. So I really hate people. Sabi nila no, it makes you boost your mental energy and believe me, it does not no. Halata ako as a professor when I check papers, alam ko kapag minadali no. So if you're doing it last minute, it's never perfect. If you do it early, then you review last minute, that's fine. At least the basic assumption is already there. Then it will give you mental stress. So plan ahead. It's difficult to plan. It's not easy. I'm not a planner myself. I'm also on the dot, no. But you try to plan because planning gives you a level of yan lang may assurance. Ang buhay walang assurance, no. Kahit love life, kahit trabaho, walang assurance. Bukas pwedeng wala kang trabaho. Pero kung if you plan ahead of how you want to build your life, whatever happens, whatever challenges that comes that day, you know you still have a plan, a backup plan, and a solution that will help you at least alleviate the problem. Kasi it will never be perfect, guys. Kaya mahirap din masyado mag-expect, di ba? Sabi nga nila, hope for the best, expect the worst, di ba? Plan doesn't mean it's wasted. But if you plan, it's actually a reward for yourself that you really have actually something concrete. Okay?
Thank you for that, sir. It's isa pa pong question. Paano po pag maraming responsibilities na dapat pagsabayin? Kasi ikaw ang eldest child at marami kang commitments. One task at a time pa rin po ang habit. Will this be considered effective time management pa rin?
That's correct. It's focus on your priorities, diba? You cannot be the jack of all trades, master of none. It's your choice, your responsibility. Do I want to be the eldest brother today? Or do I want to take care of myself? Kasi if I don't take care of myself today, then how can I be the eldest brother? Diba? And how can I work? I have two jobs. Before I was working with Pfizer, I was also a part-time professor. How do I juggle? No? I have meetings 8 o'clock in the evening to 12 midnight. How do I teach in a college and a university? How do I check papers? I balance it. No, I know for a fact that at 5 o'clock, I stop work, I pause, I go schoolwork. Or if I want to do schoolwork, I schedule it at a time that there's no work during the weekends, Friday, Saturday. And that's my happy place. Now, if school is stressing me out, then I should not teach. I should stop. Diba? Sabi ko din sa mga estudyante ko ngayon taking sa graduate school, it's your choice. Wala namang pumilit. Nung dati, di ba? You need to get a degree. Pero sa graduate school, sino ba pumilit sa'yo? Wala naman, di ba? So if you're stressed, stop. Pause. Then when you're ready, go back. Di ba? Ang hirap kasi gumagalaw ng pilit. Alam niyo yun. So, you choose your battle. So it's not really saying that you have a lot of endless pride. Never po yan matatapos. No? Everything hindi matatapos. Mawawalan tayo ng pera, mawawalan tayo ng kailangan natin maghanap buhay. Talagang ganon, di ba? Pero how do you really handle it, di ba? You need to choose a battle. Now, a battle is worth fighting for if you really focus on it. But trying to get a machine gun and hit everything, there's a low possibility that you'll hit the target. It will be probably all misses, diba? Then you get frustrated. Comes mental health issues and stress. Then it goes back to you. So when you're stressed, stop, pause, breathe, reflect. That's when you decide where and when and what to prioritize.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Meron pa po kami isang question from Janice Rosel Macale. Ang sabi po dito is, have you ever missed deadline? If yes, how did you go about it? If not, how do you ensure that are not falling behind?
That's a very good question. As much as possible, you never miss deadlines. And I can't recall. No, I'm trying to recall. I cannot say I'm perfect. I probably missed the deadline, but how do you really catch up? I think if I get to the point where I'm missing a deadline, I communicate with the people concerned. It's always very important to be transparent. Hindi yung you just miss the deadline and yeah, just missed it. Diba? It's a responsibility. It gauges who you really are. It's your personality. So talk to the person involved, whether it's your manager, your professor, that you might not hit the deadline. And be transparent. Why and when will you be able to accomplish? Then set a new deadline. Agree on a new deadline. Kaya I cannot recall when I missed a deadline, but probably I tried to negotiate on how to probably extend the deadline, 'di ba? Art actually yan ang art ng mga estudyante ngayon, the art of negotiating to extend the deadline, 'di ba? Actually, kung makikita niyo yung post ko sa Facebook, meron akong nabuo na mga terminologies para lang din yung GCQ, ECQ, enhanced extension of deadline, 'di ba? But if you really cannot, then you just have to have a very good explanation why. Pero if it's your miss because you're very irresponsible, ang hirap naman yatang pag-usapan nun. So it takes a lot of responsibility. May last minute ba ako na submit yung 11:59? Nangyari din yan. I think fresh pa din sa isip ko ngayon, no, when I almost when during my pre-title title defense, no, I arrived exactly at 9 o'clock in the evening, parang ganun, on my scheduled day of the defense, beating the clock, di ba? But it was my commitment to be there because I came all the way from Cebu. At salamat sa traffic, salamat sa ulan, 'di ba? Akala ko makakarating ako maaga, but the Lord gave me the reason to be there at exactly 9 o'clock. But of course, I had to explain it so that they can give me at least 5 minutes to bring myself back together so that I can present on my title defense, no? So meron din ganon, may mga moments, may mga adrenaline rush, but don't make it a habit. Otherwise, hindi yan talent. Hindi yan ang magpapakuha sa'yo sa malalaking kumpanya that I was able to beat the time last minute. No, I don't think that will be your advantage as a employee. Hindi. It's never a talent. It's not acceptable practice.
Okay, sir, thank you very much sa our first speaker. And this time, we would like to present our certificate of recognition to our first speaker. And toward the certificate, may I call on our program chair, BS Entrepreneurship, Mr. Jerome P. Dumlao.
Good morning. The Polytechnic
Morning,
University
sir.
of the Philippines Open University System Institute of Open and Distance Education of the Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship award the Certificate of Recognition to Dave Vincent Mangilet in grateful acknowledgement of his academic engagement and insightful academic contribution as a resource speaker, imparting unparalleled knowledge and expertise during the webinar, The Art of Time Management, given this 24th day of July, 2021, signed by Dr. Diana D. Tracy K. Chan, Quality Assurance and OJT Coordinator, Yours truly, Program Chair of BS Entrepreneurship, and Dr. Rosemary Beth R. Dizon, the Director of the Institute of Open and Distance Education. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
once again, thank you so much, Sir Dave and Sir Jerome P. Dumlao. At this point, may we request all of our participants of this webinar to kindly turn on your cameras for our picture taking.
Hello po. Good morning po. Ayun po, ready po tayo. 1, 2, 3. Next gallery. Next gallery. Thank you po. Thank you po.
Okay, we're done. Thank you everyone for participating our first set of picture taking. Now let's proceed to our second speaker for this morning. He graduated in Women's University, Bachelor in Business Administration, with more than 8 years of experience in people management and project management, proven expertise in creating processes for people operations, recruitment, human resources, labor rules, payroll services, and project management. Currently as Senior Project Manager at Sprout Solution Philippine Incorporated. Previously, implementation project manager at SAP Concur and a management specialist at ADP Philippines. And also previous claims customer service at Genpac Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker, let's give it up for Mr. Mark Brainard Gregorio.
All right.
Mr.
Hi,
Mark.
everyone. Good
Morning,
morning.
sir.
Good morning. I hope everyone is safe. Knowing that we have a storm right now, and let me just share my screen. Okay. So for today, I know that you guys had an idea already of the art of time management. Now, we will now go to the technical side of things. Doon naman po tayo sa paano natin siya i-apply, no? So, but just a quick introduction about myself. I'm just like what we mentioned earlier. I'm currently a senior project manager to an HR tech company, and our task as project managers is to deliver quality software to our clients. So ibig sabihin po, we follow a very strict timeline when it comes to implementing a software to our clients. Also, kanina maganda rin po yung narinig natin about practice simplicity, no? But I just want to add something to that. Uh, Practice simplicity, yes, but as a project manager, we also want to make sure that we practice simplicity, but it should be precise. So yun din yung gusto nating i-impart doon. And project management, time management is an ongoing process po. It's something that you will learn something every day. So right now, what I'm gonna share with you guys would be the technical side of things. Kung ano yung pwede ninyong gawin, ano yung pwede ninyong gamitin because sabi nga natin kanina, managing your time is a choice. Now, when you make that choice to manage your time, let me show you yung mga paraan to help you in maximizing your time management skills. So these are the tools, strategies that you guys can use or what we use currently as project managers in maximizing our timeline for delivery. So before we start, I think or I hope everyone can hear me. If you guys can hear me, kindly type yes to our chat box.
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
All right, very good. I can see a lot of yeses. Very good. So let's start. So I started as a implementation officer. So I started as a project coordinator. So basically knowing how the project works, kung paano siya ginagawa, paano siya i-manage. I started with that. So nagsimula po tayo ng inaalam po natin kung paano mag-build ng mga timeline. So yung timeline po na ito is very important to not just to our clients but also internally. So, syempre may mga boss po tayo. We need to know how to create a timeline. We can also apply this to our personal lives. Kasi if you started knowing or familiarizing yourself in doing project timelines, na-apply mo siya eh. Na-apply mo siya to your day-to-day life. So, just like me, I'm working as a project manager and I'm also doing freelance work. So since medyo nagkaroon na po tayo ng background in creating timelines, medyo namamanage mo na rin po yung time with your family, with your work, and then with freelancing. And then I transitioned to project management. So when I started with project management, medyo mas naging broad yung view natin when it comes to time management. Mas malaki yung nakikita nating possibilities when you are managing time. So sa ngayon, you are actually taking into consideration the time availability, not just of your clients, but also your team. So as a project manager, I'm handling HR and payroll professionals. So I'm handling those people and I need to take into consideration their time. So kailangan din po, syempre, on a personal note, kung may gagawin kang project and may mga kasama kang teammates, you also need to look at their availability, yung mga ganon. So when it comes to time management, ito po yung fina-follow natin. So how to maximize your time management skills. So for me, I'm a certified project manager. So I initially divide my task into phases. So right now, I will start with identify the project mandate. Ano po ba yung ibig sabihin ng identify project mandate? It means, ano ba yung kailangan kong gawin? What do I need to do and how should I do it? So you have to have a list of ano ba talaga yung kailangan mo i-deliver. Ano yung gusto mong gawin? So for example, yung day-to-day natin, gaya nga ng example kanina, ano yung magiging ulam natin for today? So let's put that as an example. And then once you have identified that, dito natin ipapasok paano natin siya gagawin. Papasok si phase 2, which is analyzing man hours. Analyzing man hours is how much do you need to spend on each task. This is very important, especially for project managers, because we need to know that how many hours are we going to allot for a particular task. So we need to know din po kung let's say kailangan kong mag-prepare ng ganito for 2 hours, for 3 hours, yung mga ganong type of analyzation when it comes to your man hours. And then of course, the last phase is executing your project plan. So you will not be successful if you will not follow your project plan. So yun nga yung sabi nga natin dito is follow and execute accordingly based on your project plan. So these are the helpful strategies that you guys can do. So let me further discuss yung identify project mandate, no? So when you identify project mandate, basically what you're doing is you you need to identify your scope. So as a project manager, your scope is let's say hanggang dito lang po tayo, dito po tayo magsa-start and hanggang dito lang po yung gagawin natin. We need to understand or we need to identify and include the min and max support hours to our clients also. And we have to be able to deliver the project accordingly. So it is also important that you define and break down the task. So hindi naman po hindi naman po tayo lahat superhero na kaya nating gawin lahat ng task all at once. So you have to break down kung kailan magkakaroon. You have to consider yung capability ng kasama mo sa project for you to be able to plan the project accordingly. So one strategy that you guys can use is creating a project initiation checklist. So this is very common for us project managers because when you start a project, so let's say mag-implement tayo or mag-start tayo ng project in one client, no? So we usually use project initiation checklist. So project initiation checklist is where you will identify number one, your project team. So let's say ikaw yung magiging project manager. You'll be the leader of the project. Also, yung mga project team mo, dito mo rin siya ilalagay. Kanino mo siya ibibigay, which in our case, ibibigay natin siya sa mga clients natin. And also, this is where you will put the background of the project. Ano ba yung gagawin ko? Paano ba natin siya gagawin? Dito rin natin ipapasok yung mga objectives. So, ano ba yung gusto natin ma-achieve dito sa project na to? And lastly, this is very important because as project managers, dito din po namin nilalagay yung risk management analysis. So when we say risk management analysis, this is the part where you identify kung ano yung what can go wrong. So as a project manager, you need to identify possibilities of something might go wrong, and you should be prepared for it. Prepared for it. So yun yung kailangan nating i-master din as a project manager or someone who's learning how to create their timelines. So yun yung mga need po natin. And also, besides project initiation checklist, pwede pong maging simple lang po yan kahit nasa Excel file. Naka-breakdown lang po yung gagawin natin. Nandun po yung lahat ng hours for the task. That's okay. If you can make it simple as possible. But for us, project managers, we highly recommend that we use a project initiation checklist. So that's phase one for identifying project mandate. Now let's talk about analyzing man hours. So when we say analyzing man hours, ano ba yung mga tools na pwede nating gamitin when we analyze man hours? So basically, this is the part na dinedivide na po natin yung project per phase at naglalagay na po tayo kung ilang hours yung efforts na gagawin natin sa mga task. We also want na specific yung mga details na i-deliver natin for internal and external stakeholders. So just like, let's put a school project in example. So let's say may kailangan tayong i-deliver na project to our professor and meron tayong kasamang teammates. This will be very helpful for you guys para ma-divide natin yung task for each team member. So let's say team member number 1 or project member number 1, dito siya naka-assign, project member number 2, and then number 3. Kailangan natin ma-accomplish siya for this hour para ma-submit po natin siya to our stakeholder, which is going to be our professor. And then these are the helpful tools na pwede po natin gamitin when it comes to creating your project timeline. So number 1 is Gantt chart. Meron po bang familiar na po dito sa Gantt chart? Do we have anyone from our attendees na somehow familiar na po with our Gantt chart?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Very good. So this is very common for project management, no, because this is where yes, correct. So this is also where you will see kung alin po yung mga pwedeng mag-overlap sa gagawin po nating project. So let's say for this week, ito po yung kailangan nating gawin, pero on the side pwede na rin naman nating simulan yung ibang task na mag-overlap for the next week. So, pwede po natin gamitin ng Gantt chart. It is very helpful. It's available online. You guys can use it. I highly recommend this chart. Okay. Another one that you guys can use is an Excel file. So dito po natin makikita, are we on track? Completed na po ba tayo? Medyo marami pa rin pong gumagamit ng Excel, which is still very helpful. You can put dito po, as you can see, no, dun sa list of actions. So ito yung mga kailangan nating gawin. Dito siya naka-assign, kung kanino naka-assign, kung kaninong project member. And then ano ba yung priority niya? Malaki ba yung priority natin for this particular task? Is it high? Is it medium? Or is it low? And then of course, the status. Dun sa status natin, we need to identify if the project or the task is complete. Is it ongoing or in progress? Or it's delayed? So medyo dito po, kapag you guys are working with a project manager, kapag nakita po natin na delayed na po yung status ng task natin, dito na po natin makakausap si project manager. Kasi Dapat the goal is dapat po completed siya, pero we need to know kung bakit nade-delay yung mga particular task natin. Okay? And then of course you can put notes right there. Also my personal recommendation is to put the hours and the dates na dito po sa project timeline natin sa Excel. I'm very used to using the Excel and creating my timeline. Yes. So pwede po natin gawin 'yon. Right? So, next naman po would be another example. So this is very medyo ano na siya, but there are still people or project managers who still using it, but this is the fishbone method. So pwede nating i-break down yung task po natin starting from a single line, and then from each of the task pwede natin siya ilagay sa gitna, and then i-branch po natin yung mga task for each dotted line. So pwede pa rin naman po for a simple and very straightforward project timeline, you can still use the fishbone method. Okay? So, ito yung mga ways. Again, just a recap, pwede po tayong gumamit ng Gantt chart. We can also use an Excel file and then a fishbone method. So those are the things that you guys can use in creating a very simple and very straightforward project timeline. And also, I do want to discuss the last part of executing your project plan. So, paano ba natin siya i-execute? So, meron ka ng initiation document. Alam mo na kung ano po yung gagawin natin. Meron ka ng timeline, kailan siya gagawin, ilang hours, sino yung mga project team members. Ngayon, paano natin siya i-execute and paano natin itatrack yung time? So, as you can see on your screens right now, these are the most used tools that the project managers use for executing project plans. So meron po kaming tinatawag na time trackers. So for time trackers, dito po natin dinedetermine kung ilang hours ba talaga. Kung nilagay natin is 2 hours, pero natapos siya ng 3 hours, doon po natin, kailangan po natin i-track yon for us to be able to present kung bakit nangyari yon for future projects, no? So we have to identify why is this happening? Do we need to adjust the normal time frame that we allotted? Medyo malaki po ba yung or maliit po ba yung time na nilagay natin? Kailangan ba natin lakihan? So yun yung magiging purpose ng time trackers. We are also using project management tools. These are softwares that you can see online. Some of them are free, some of them are may subscription. So us, we have an internal project management tool na doon po kami nagtatrack kung ilang hours of effort, na-deliver po ba namin on time, ilan po yung mga kailangang resources for each of the tasks. So yun po yung mga needed po natin. So again, these are very helpful. Let's say, i-apply po natin, for example, no, start tayo sa umpisa. So start tayo sa umpisa, kailangan natin mag-prepare ng lunch in a few hours. So maglalagay po tayo ng project mandate, kailangan ko gumawa ng food po natin for lunchtime. Kailangan natin i-break down ilang hours, ay kailangan kong i-prepare yung meat, kailangan ko i-prepare yung mga kailangan for cooking. And then when you execute everything, you have to time yourself kung aabot ba siya by 12 noon. So yun yung very straightforward and very simple project approach, because you guys are doing project management, hindi lang po natin na-realize, pero you guys are doing project management every day just by making a decision or just by identifying what you guys will do for the remaining hours of your day. You guys are doing project management, but the things that we've discussed today, I believe it will help you to know or to identify more tools or strategies that will help you deliver and access quality project delivery. Okay. So again, just a recap, I highly recommend that you follow this. You start with identifying what you need to do, you analyze your man hours, and then you execute according to your project plan. So I think yun lang naman po tayo on the technical side. I know medyo ano lang po siya, very very straightforward, but it's very helpful, especially to those na um may mga hinahabol na deadlines and you want to learn kung paano po i-break down yung mga ginagawa natin every day. So yes, these are very helpful, and you can I think that's it for me. You guys can connect to me through LinkedIn. Again, my name is Mark Brainerd Gregorio. I'm a senior project manager. If you have if hindi natin ma-answer yung questions natin today, you guys can connect to me through LinkedIn, and I will respond as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the organizers of this event.
Thank you very much for that wonderful and inspiring talk, Mr. Mark Brainerd Gregorio. For sure, marami tayong natutunan for us to maximize our time management. Syempre, dapat nating i-follow yung sinabi ni Sir na identify project mandate, analyze man hours, and execute project plan. Okay. And I know how excited you guys to ask some questions to our speakers, but wait, hold your horses dahil we have time for that later. I just want to acknowledge the participants of this Zoom 300 participants, and also to our FB viewers, our 115 FB viewers. Magandang araw po sa inyo. Maraming salamat po for tuning in. And before we continue to our question and answer and to our final speaker, let me first introduce to you our course specialist, Professor Carol Mateo, that will explain more about the PUP Open Distance Learning Education.
Morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning po.
Good morning, Miss Carol.
Yes, good morning po. Good morning po. Pwede po ba nating i-play po muna yung ating... Yes, good morning po.
This is the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Open University System. The PUP-OUS, also known as the Pamantasang Bayan, is an innovative system in delivering higher educational services away from the formal, highly structured, and classroom-oriented traditional approach. It is the PUP-OUS commitment to provide quality education through the open and distance learning system in order to respond to the needs and challenges of the technologically advanced and globally linked society. The PUP-OU caters quality education to the economically disadvantaged students, out-of-school youth, teachers, administrators, managers, professionals, ordinary employees, and to all who are passionate and dedicated in pursuing their degree or non-degree courses despite of accessibility, time, and domestic constraints. PUP-OUS Drive answers the call to higher education institutions in continuing contributions to the efforts of the government in recognizing its objectives of poverty alleviation, global competitiveness, and sustainable development for the benefit of the present and future generations of Filipinos. The Institute of Open and Distance Education, or IODE, provides an opportunity to maintain, complete, or continue university study while working, caring for a family, or sustaining a busy life. It provides an option on when and where you learn and study independently with the guidance of a course specialist who grades and comments on your work in the blended mode of delivery. IODE offers Bachelor of Arts in Broadcasting, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management, Bachelor in Public Administration, Bachelor of Science in Office Administration, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Marketing Management, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Human Resources Management, Post-Baccalaureate Diploma in Information Technology, Master in Communication, Master in Education Management, Master in Information Technology, Master in Public Administration, Master in Business Administration, Master of Science in Construction Management, Doctor in Engineering Management, Doctor in Education Management, Doctor in Business Administration, Doctor in Public Administration. The Institute Non-Traditional Study Program, Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or INE, offers programs where students will earn a degree through accreditation and equivalency. The Non-Traditional Study Program is a self-study program wherein the student's educational background, work experiences, and achievements are evaluated and accredited through a rating system that leads to the completion of the undergraduate and graduate degrees. NTSP offers various non-board undergraduate and graduate programs. The Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program of the Commission on Higher Education is an educational assessment scheme which recognizes knowledge, skill, and prior learning attained by individuals from non-formal and informal educational experiences. ITIAP offers various non-board undergraduate programs. The Institute of Continuing and Professional Development, or ICPD, is committed on enhancing the individual professional's knowledge and skills through integrated industry-based professional development experiences in collaboration with the Professional Regulation Commission, Commission on Higher Education, and other government and non-government organizations. ICPD is also the provider of continuing professional education units for professionals of PRC in the various disciplines. It also assures its participants have access to innovative strategies in order to solve problems, create solutions, and use best practices through industry expert trainers who provide multilingual, multinational, and multimodal training programs for academe, government, and private firms. This includes workforce trainings, diploma programs, certificate, and skills courses. For more than decades, various activities were accomplished by OUS aligned in the university's vision towards the National Polytechnic University. as an accredited member of professional organizations that include the International Council on Distance Education, the Asian Association for Open University, PUP-OUS has been acknowledged by the UNESCO Asia-Pacific region for higher education knowledge based on open and distance learning in Bangkok, Thailand on 2003. Ang inyong pamantasang bayan, PUP Open University System, the country's first open university.
Yan. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Naririnig po ako?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear po.
Maulang umaga po sa lahat. Bago po ang lahat, gusto ko pong good morning muna sa ating mga kasama. Kay Dr. Maribeth R. Dizon, ang ating director ng IODE, sa atin pong boss na pinakagwapo, yan. Sa ating program chair kay Sir Jade Dumlao, and also kay Ma'am Espinosilia, and then sa lahat po ng kasama natin na course specialist na nandito dito, kay Ma'am Rona, kay Sir Kirk, good morning po. At good morning sa 300 po na kasama natin dito sa Zoom, and then sa 100 plus po sa FB Live. Grabe, no? Kahit umuulan talaga, iba ang fighting spirit ng PUP yan. So it is my honor po to represent the whole family of PUP-OUS, to invite all of you to join us, no, in the first open university system in the Philippines sa ating PUP-OUS. We are offering undergraduate programs. We have po Bachelor of Arts in Broadcasting, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Human Resource Management, major in Marketing Management. We have Bachelor of Science in Office Administration, Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management, and Bachelor of Public Administration. Ang gagawin lang po natin ay just type in po www.pup.edu.ph/iapply/CAA-PUP-OUS. Ongoing na po ang application for our first semester in this academic year 2021-2022 na mag-i-start po sa October, no? This October na po. Pinag-usapan po kanina, no, napaka fruitful po nitong maulang umaga na ito. Nakikinig po ako kanina kay Sir Dave and kay Sir Mark, no? Tinuturuan niya po tayo ng tamang time management skills. Pero sa tingin ko po ang mga PUP yan, alam po natin yan, grabe ang ang time management skills natin, no? Kasi kadalasan po or karamihan po sa atin ng ating mga students ay marami talagang ginagawa aside from their schools, no? Aside doon sa mga assignments and projects na nabanggit ng mga students, ay sila po ay mga nanay, tatay, mga boss din, no? Mga empleyado. So naipagsasabay po nila yan at the same time. Itong Open University po, para po sa mga nakikinig po sa atin ngayon, opportunity na po ito para sa atin, no? Especially doon sa mga tao na gustong-gustong mag-aral pero sa tingin nila ay wala silang oras. So tayo po sa Open University ay purely online po, no? Kaya magagawa po natin itong mag-aral at the same time ay hindi natin kailangang iwan ang mga ibang obligations natin at ibang roles natin. And sinabi po rin ni Sir Dave kanina, nabanggit niya po na parang necessity para sa atin na makagraduate ng college. Pero it is our choice, no, na mag-proceed po sa ating graduate programs. Yan. So para kung na-master na natin yung ating time management skills at sa tingin natin ay meron pa po tayong oras, no, at hindi pa tayo stress. Pero sabi nga ni Sir na kanina na sa kanya daw ay isa sa pagdi-distress niya, no, ay ang pagpasok sa school. Sa tingin ko sa atin din, no, marami tayong mga estudyante, sinasabi nila yan na nadi-distress sila. Nawawala yung stress kapag ka nasa school, kapag ka estudyante ulit. So, pwede po tayong magtuloy sa advanced study program, especially sa ating mga graduating students ng entrepreneurship, mga sir, mga ma'am. Pagka-graduate, enroll po agad sa advanced study program natin. And then sa mga nakikinig po sa atin na graduate na at gusto pong magtuloy ng postgraduate, ng advanced program, pwede po tayong mag-enroll sa Open University system ng PUP. Meron po tayong Masters in Education Management para sa mga gustong magturo, no? Katulad namin, no? And then we have Master in Communication, Master in Information Technology na in demand po ngayon. Also, we have Master in Public Administration, Master in Business Administration, Master of Science in Construction Management. We have also Doctor in Engineering Management, Doctor in Education Management, Doctor in Business Administration, and Doctor in Public Administration. No? Type lang po natin www.pup.edu.ph/iapply/OUSEE. Pero kung gusto niyo naman po na may makausap sa aming mga staff, no, sa PUP-OUS, pwede po tayong tumawag anytime po during office hours sa Registrar and Admission Office. No? Punta lang po, tawag lang po tayo dyan sa 5335-1787 or 335-1777 local 325. Or pwede po sa direct line natin sa 5335-1726. Yan. So may nakikita na po ako mga questions, no? Isa po ay gaano ba kahirap mag-apply? So i-check po natin. Pakikita ko po sa inyo when you type in the I apply kung ano pong makikita natin dyan. So let me share for a while po. Let me share my screen. Para sample po ng pwede natin gawin after po ng webinar. So diretso
apply agad.
Apply agad, yan.
Yes.
So, for a while po. Ayan. Nakikita na po ba? Okay. So kapag po tinay po natin, no, yung ating I apply, ano yung kanina? PUP yan, CAE PUP OUS. Yan. Wala. CAE PUP tama ba? Ang nilalagay ko dito. OUS, PUP, CAE, PUP, OUS. OUS, yan. So dito po, nakalagay na po ang mga information na kailangan nyo pong malaman or gusto nyo pong malaman. And also, the schedule of online application ay June 28 po to July 31. So pwede pa po tayo, mahaba pa po yung time natin para mag-apply. And also the required documents that you need you need to submit, no? And also para po sa nagtatanong, no, may nakita po akong question kanina na pwede po bang online ang pag-send ng documents? Yes po, no, pwede po natin yan i-email sa ousadmission.caepup@pup.edu.ph. Yan po. So para po sample lang po, no, para po sa mga high school graduate, kailangan po natin ng inyong Form 137 and Form 138. And also sa mga nagtatanong paano po kung mag-ship po ako, galing po ako sa ibang school. So pwede po for college undergraduate, ang kailangan po natin ay transcript of records po. Ayan. So, and then isa pa pong question dito, no, paano kapag ay may exam po ba? Ayan. So sa undergraduate po ay ayan, sabi ay ano lang, evaluation lang po, no, ng lahat ng requirements. But please be noted na hindi po i-accept at ipoprocess ang mga incomplete requirements. So paki-check lang po lahat ng kailangan po nating i-submit. Yan. Right. Okay, so, pwede po nating i-entertain kung meron pong mga iba pa pong questions. Hindi ko po masagot, andyan po si Sir Jay para sa ang ating program chair to answer some of your queries regarding po sa application for undergraduate and advanced study program ng PUP Open University. Yes, Alvin, meron bang question?
Yes, ma'am. Meron pong question po dito. Ma'am, ano po kaya help sa gustong mag-apply pero lumabas po napunta ang registration as regular sa Commonwealth branch?
Ayan, sa Commonwealth branch, tapos ay, dapat hindi sa Commonwealth branch. So, pwede po tayong tumawag po during office hours sa ating registrar and admission office to tell you the procedure on what to do regarding that. Ayan po.
Thank you po, Ma'am Beth. Ito po, meron pa pong mga question. Pwede po ba, nawala po. Pwede po ba yung BS Entrep mag-enroll sa Masters Info Technology?
Ayan din po. Para dyan po, para sa mga technicalities about that, kasi di ba dapat vertical alignment po tayo, pwede po tayong i-lead po ng registrar's office natin regarding po dyan sa mga questions regarding sa technicalities about courses. No? Kung ano ba pwede nilang i-take ng master's in relation po sa kanilang bachelor's degree. Ayan po. So, ayan. Enroll na po tayo hanggang July 31 po. Pwede pong mag-apply through website natin sa iApply. Ayan.
Ay ma'am, additional lang po. Sorry po.
Ay, opo.
Opo, yung nag-ask po kanina regarding dun sa nakapag-enroll and napunta po sa branches, pwede po silang tumawag ma'am sa ICTO office.
Ayan.
Sila po ma'am ang magta-transfer po nung nagawa or na-create nilang account. Bali po, yes ma'am, ibibigay na lang po namin sa chat box yung contact info po ng ICTO office.
Ayan.
Thank you po.
So, pwede po raw tayo tumawag sa ICTO para malaman kung ano po yung kailangan natin gawin para ma-transfer po yung application nyo. Alright, sige. Thank you very much po. So sa ICTO po, nandito po sa chat box ngayon. Pero ang number po ng ICTO office ay 5335-51787 local 613 po. Yan. Again, ang ICTO office po ay 5335-1787 local 613.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much po.
Thank you so much, Professor Karen Mateo.
Yes, we are looking forward to see all of you sa PUP OUS.
There you go. Actually, ako personally, sobrang proud ako na naging part ako ng PUP Open University at isa ako sa mga nabigyan ng second chance. And I'm always proud and forever grateful na scholar ng bayan. Okay, now let's go down to our final resource speaker for today. Alam ko, inaantay nyo to. Let me introduce to you. He is currently a senior property analyst at Empire East. He is a board member and seminar facilitator of Lovestruck Movement, a coordinator at True Love Waits Philippines, a vlogger on his YouTube channel, Kuya Kebs, has utilized the online media to become an effective real estate guy. He is a head trainer and co-founder of Kudos Property Pooling, a company that provides digital voucher for staycations, co-authored the book Mapagmahal Problem, published by PSICOM, Youth Director of Hope of Life Christian Ministries, an information technology degree holder, and most of all, a full-fledged Christian online entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause. Our final resource speaker for today, Mr. Kevin Parongao. Good morning po, Sir Kevin.
Hello guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nakakain na ba kayo lahat? Nilindol ba kayo? Naramdaman niyo ba yung lindol?
Opo, sir.
Grabe yung
Lahat po.
lindol, no? Grabe yung lindol kaninang madaling araw. And buti rin at hindi tayo nawawalan ng internet. Praise the Lord. Ang lakas ng ulan at hangin, hindi tayo nawawalan ng internet. Anyways, are we good? Kaya pa ba ng powers natin? Ang ganda
Yes,
ng mga
sir.
topic kanina. Thank you pala kay Sir Dave and Sir Mark, no, sa magandang topic. And clear ba yung voice ko? Pa-type naman ng yes kung okay ang aking voice. Clear naman lahat. Narinig po ba ako? All right. Okay, good. Good morning po sa ating 300 participant, and thank you for inviting me here again. At masaya ako nandito ngayon sa kabila ng lahat ng ating ginagawa. Still nandito tayo ngayon para pag-usapan yung mga magandang topic. Pwede ba ako mag-share ng screen, sir? Pwede na, no?
Yes, sir. Pwede na po.
Alright. Kita na ba yung screen ko, mga kapatid? Sorry, masanay ako magturo sa church. Mga kapatid, yung sinasabi ko. Ayan, kita naman screen ko. Alright, let's continue. So, ayun, di na ako papakilala, pinakilala na ako ni sir. Ito sa mga pinakamagandang topic na gusto pag-usapan kasi even ako, bago ko to yung invite nga ako dito, sabi ko, seryoso ka ba? Gusto mo ako invite dito? Kasi ako dito, nahihirapan ako dito. Sobrang nahihirap ako dito. Siguro dahil marami pagkakataon ng buhay ko ay madami akong ginagawa. So, just want to share some sa idea sa ginagawa ni Kuya Kev. Sabi nga ni sir, I'm a real estate guy at I have some entrepreneur mga businesses outside my source of income. Kaya itong time management sobrang hirap para sa akin to. And true enough, siguro kaya din ako na-invite dito is para para ma-share sa inyo yung mga pagkakamali ko, yung mga fails ko kung bakit mas effective ako on this. All right? So house rule po muna tayo. Number 1 house rule po na natin ay okay lang pa-mute po muna ang lahat. Yun lang po yung pa-unmute muna tayong lahat. And then yung next na house rule natin, okay lang po mag-comment. If you want to pwede po kayong mag-type diyan. Okay lang po 'yon. And then number 3, house rule natin, bawal pong nakasimangot. Hindi ko po kayo nakikita lahat pero bawal pong nakasimangot. Okay po ba tayo diyan? Okay, let's start. Bakit nga ba tayo ay nagpe-fail sa ating time management? Sige nga, any idea? Tingin nyo, bakit ba tayo nagpe-fail sa ating time management? Any idea? Sige nga. Pwede sumagot po sa ating comment section. Sige nga, sige. Sa ating type back. Lazy, sige, lazy, sabi ni Sir Antonio. Not planning for the day, no focus. Okay, sige, lack of focus. Sige. Tingin nyo, ba't tayo nagpe-fail sa ating time management? Not organized, okay? Some urgent responsibilities. Procrastination. Okay, ganda ng sagot ha. Yan. Wrong order of priority, no priority. Gagaling ha, gagaling tong mga audience natin ha. Okay, lot of distraction, wrong decision, low productivity, busy sa ibang bagay. Okay. Gusto ko yung mga sagot ha, tsaka very active ng mga natin ha. Okay. Siguro one thing na bakit tayo nagfi-fail. Pag-iisahin ko na lang sila, One thing tayo sa online sabong. Oy, tingnan yan. Alright. So, one thing na bakit tayo nagfi-fail tayo. Yan, goals and priorities. Wala tayong goal at wala tayong priorities. Sabi nga ni di ba? Sabi nga ni Rendon. Dapat yung goal mo, dapat focus ka. Iwan lahat. Joke lang. Wag mo iwan yung pamilya mo, syempre. Pero what I'm trying to say is, tayo mga tao, kaya tayo nagkakamali o kaya tayo hindi tayo nagagawa yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin kasi wala tayong focus. Hindi tayo naka-focus dun sa goal natin, hindi tayo naka-focus dun sa priority natin for the rest of the day or for the rest of the week or for the rest of the month. Yun yung kailangan nating maintindihan. Okay, may sabi nga sa kanina sa comment section, if you fail to plan, you will plan to fail. Diba? Kung wala tayong plano para sa ating para sa loob ng isang araw o for the rest of the week o for the rest of the month o for the rest of the year, wala talagang mangyayari. 'Di ba? Parang isa sa pinaka logic niyan is this. Hindi ka umalis ng bahay tapos sumakay ka ng jeep at tapos sinabi mo dun sa jeep is bayad nga po. Pag dinawang ka ng jeepney driver kung saan, tapos ang sinabi mo, hindi ko rin po alam. Kalokohan yun. Di ka aalis ng bahay nung wala kang patutukan. Di ka aalis ng bahay nung di mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. Ganon din sa buhay natin. Dapat alam mo kung saan ka pupunta. Alam mo kung saan yung goal mo. Alam mo kung ano yung priority mo in life. Kasi kaya tayo hindi natin na-manage yung time natin na maayos kasi hindi natin alam at the first place yung yung ating priority natin in life. Yung goal natin. Alright? Yan. Ito yung magandang question to, no? Question, paano mo kakainin ang isang elepante? Sige nga. Pwede mag-type ha. Ay, pwede mag-type. How do you eat an elephant? Sige. Ayoko po. Nga. Paano po natin kakainin ng isang elepante? Cut into pieces, okay? Unti-unti. Kawawa naman. Ayun, no? Ayan. Siyempre, papatayin mo. Abira kayo. Ayan. Sinabi na nga dun sa isang comment to. Ayan, ito. You have to one bite at a time. Hindi mo pwedeng kainin ng buo yung elepante. Hindi mo siya makakain ng buo. Kasi minsan, nakikita natin, sobrang laki. Sobrang laki nung sobrang laki nung nakikita natin na naisip mo, hindi mo siya kayang gawin. Hindi, kalokohan yun. Kaya natin siyang gawin. Yun nga lang, hindi mo siya kayang gawin ng isang biglaan, kaya unti-unti. Di ba, nung baby tayo, hindi naman tayo pinipilit na, magtumakbo ka dyan, maglakad ka dyan, hindi. Unti-unti, tinutulungan tayo ng parents natin makalakad, tinutulungan tayo ng parents natin tumakbo, tinuturo natin unti-unti, hindi siya biglaan. Di ba, hindi pagkapanganak mo gusto kagad paghugasin ng plato, hindi, walang ganun. Unti-unti tinuturo sa atin, ganun din dito. Kailangan natin maintindihan na yung future o yung mga bagay na dapat gusto nating maabot in the future, unti-unti natin ginagawa sa decision natin every day. Okay? Ito. Kanina ang dami ng nagturo kanina. Alam ko si Sir yung huling speaker na nagturo, tinuro niya din pa ma-manage yung time. Ito tuturo ko naman dito is the 3 basic calendars, the long term, the weekly and the daily. Okay? Ayan. Tip po para po sa mga students and para sa mga working. Number 1 tip is plan your day. Have by and daily time organizer. All right? Number 2 is make your schedule visual. Kailangan po nakikita natin schedule natin. Kailangan po nakikita natin kung ano yung goal natin. Pag araw-araw natin nakikita yung goal natin, araw-araw nakikita na schedule natin, hindi tayo naliligaw. Alam mo kung anong gagawin mo kasi may schedule ka. May schedule ka on that day. May schedule ka on that time. Hindi ka maliligaw. Okay? Yan. And lastly, be faithful to your schedule. Ang mahirap kasi maglalagay tayo ng schedule natin, 'di ba? May isang quote, 'di ba? every year bumibili ka ng Starbucks planner pero wala ka namang plano. Yung Starbucks planner mo hanggang January lang o kaya first week lang ng January tapos after that wala na naman. Display na naman yung planner natin. Parang every year bumibili ka ng planner. Pero every year din hanggang January para po pagmabot ng February yung planner mo, sobrang buenas mo na. Pero hindi, dapat maging faithful tayo dun sa schedule natin, maging faithful tayo dun sa plan na ginawa natin kasi pag di tayo, nagplano ka pa, hindi mo gagawin. I mean, gets ko naman, ako as Kuya Kebs, hindi ako hindi ko sinasabi to dahil perfect ako on time, hindi. Marami pagkakataon ng buhay ko na hindi nagpipit yung schedule ko sa mga bagay na ginagawa ko kasi as Kuya Kebs, hindi ako wala akong fit schedule. Kasi ang trabaho ko entrepreneur. Ang trabaho ko real estate. Wala akong schedule na parang ito yung kailangan mo gawin. Hindi kasi from time to time kami meron kami nagiging client. Sabi niyo, kahit madaling araw nagkakaroon ako ng client. Yun yung mahirap. And minsan, kinabukasan nagkakaroon ako ng tripping. Kinabukasan nagkakaroon ako ng schedule. Kaya mahirap sa akin yung bagay na to. Pero I have to understand na kailangan ko makita yung visual, kailangan ko makita yung schedule ko on that day para at least meron akong pupuntahan. Kung maiba siya, kailangan ko mag-adjust. Alright? Example na nga. Alam ko, familiar kayo dito kasi nag-i-school kayo, nag-graduate kayo. Kailangan makita mo to. Example itong schedule sa Science, English to break, review, math. Nakikita mo dapat yung schedule mo. Okay? Kung may Bible study ka, nakikita mo dapat. Yung gusto kong point ito. Kailangan nakikita mo, visualize mo yung schedule mo, yung plano mo for the day. Ayan, example, even yung mga nag-gym, hindi ka basta nag-gym. Merong may tamang pag-gym. Kunyari, merong araw, leg day ka. O kaya, kung may nag-gym dito, alam nila to. Meron dito, tricep day ka. Diba? Iba dito, araw nila, bicep day. Merong hindi siya pwedeng buong araw ka mag-gym. Hindi, may oras siya, may tama siyang pag-gym. Hindi ka lang basta nagbuhat, okay na yon. Hindi. May scheduling siya, anong oras ka dapat. And dapat consistent siya. Okay? For example, first week schedule, Tuesday schedule. Okay? Kailangan nakikita po natin, kailangan na-visualize po natin yung ating schedule. Okay? Tip for student, ito pa. Know your priorities. Learn to say no. Alam mo, ito yung pinakamahirap sa lahat. Sobra. Ang pinakamahirap sa lahat is magsabi ka ng no. Magsabi ka ng no sa mga bagay na dapat nagno ka talaga. Hindi ka makahindi kasi may mga taong people pleaser. And yes sila ng yes sa mga bagay na di naman talaga nila kaya. Ayun ang kailangan nating maiwasan. Pwede ba sabi nga natin, no, ganon, lakasan nyo. pag may nag-invite sa inyo, marami kang gagawin na sasabihin, no. Okay? Ayan, ito pa. Know your time wasters and deal with them. Isa sa mga bagay kung bakit hindi natin nagagawa yung priorities natin kasi ang dami nating time wasters. Ayan, TikTok, K-drama, social media. Alam ko, hindi lang, isa ako dito. Promise, isa ako dito. Marami pagkakataon, lalo na pag may bagong K-drama, may bagong series sa Netflix. Hindi ko rin maiwasan na manood. Lalo, ako nung mga nakaraang araw, kasi lumabas yung Bagman. Ang ganda ng Bagman. Yon, 2 season yon. Parang natapos ko yung 2 season ng 2 araw lang kasi sobrang ganda, na-hook talaga ako. And marami pagkakataon, yun yung time wasters natin na hindi natin nagagawa yung dapat natin gawin kasi na-hook tayo dun sa bagay na hindi naman talaga importante. Even sa TikTok, diba? Lalo sa TikTok kasi ang galing ng TikTok kasi pag nanood ka ng video sa TikTok, hindi pang pinakamatagal niya is 3 minutes. Yun yung pinaka-least attention span ng mga tao. Pagka mas maikli, mas nahuhook tayo. Kasi ikli lang eh. Tapos mangyayari, scroll up ka lang, hindi mo na mamalayan, ubos na yung time natin. Even Facebook. Kaya kailangan alam mo yung time wasters mo. Alam natin kung ano yung time wasters natin. Kasi pag nalaman mo yung time wasters mo, alam mo paano siya maiiwasan. Okay? Be organized. Structure of workstation, sequence of meetings. Kaya nga, sabi ko nga kanina, your schedule will be visualized. Naka-visual dapat yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo for that day. Kasi sabi ko nga, pag di mo nakikita, maliligaw ka. Di ba para lang itong para kapag bumili ng para ka nag-grocery, pag di mo nakikita yung mga binibili mo, hindi mo nabibili importante kasi wala kang listahan, hindi mo nabivisual yung mga dapat binibili mo. Okay? Ayan, and last, maintain a good diet, stay fit. Hindi ko sinasabi dito na kailangan Hindi ko sinasabi dito na kailangan is kailangan may abs ka, kailangan sexy ka, hindi. Kailangan lang dito dapat healthy ka. Kasi, tandaan nyo po, pag po tayo ay pagod physically, nadadamay ang emotional. Nagiging emotional tayo. Nagiging may initin ng ulo natin, nagiging mabilis tayong mairita. Kasi nga, hindi maayos yung ano natin. Kasi basically, lahat na nagagaling na sakit o nakuha natin sakit, basically nakuha natin sa ano, sa pagkain o kaya dun sa hindi maayos sa pangangatawan. Okay? Especially tulog, 'di ba? Sinasabi ko sa sarili ko to kasi lagi rin ang puyat. Alright. Totoo to, sobrang ano no, sobrang bilis ng social media. Sobra, as in. Ayan. Lalo to, no? Yung sabi mo last episode na, tapos 5 a.m. na pala. I tell you, lahat ng K-drama o lahat ng series, pagka natapos ang isang series, nakakabitin, tama? Tapos talagang, ang galing nung ano, ang galing ng Netflix kasi, hindi mo na kailangang i-click kasi, ano yung mga series, hindi mo na kailangang i-click kasi, meron na agad next episode dun sa lower right. Nakusa siyang naging next episode. Kaya wala ka magagawa. Manonood ka. Kaya kung hindi mo didisiplin yung sarili mo, hindi mo maayos yung bagay na ginagawa mo. Wala kang discipline on your time, on yourself. Wala. Maliligaw talaga tayo. Okay? And yes, never procrastinate. Promise, never. Never do that. Kasi nga, pag procrastinate tayo, wala tayong lalo nagagawa. Lalo manyana habit, mamaya na. Kaya di ba yung mga nanay natin galit sa atin pag kasi inutusan tayo, sinasabi natin mamaya na, nagagalit sa atin. Kasi lahat na ng inutos sa atin, ginagawa natin puro mamaya na eh. Diba? Kung kaya mong gawin mo na ngayon. Kasi pagka nagpo-procrastinate tayo, mas lalo tayong walang natatapos, mas tayong walang ginagawa. Mas lalo tayong walang nagagawa on that day. Okay? Ayan. Example, ito. Has 8 weeks for a project and start 2 days before deadlines. Lagi ito. Lalo sa school. Lalo to sa school. Sipin mo, magbibigay ng assignment, magbibigay ng project. Bibigay ng project on that day, magbibigay ng project ng mga 1 month ago, tapos gagawin mo yung project 7 days na lang, o kaya 3 days na lang, o kaya pagka deadline na lang. Tapos, ang gagawin mo, hihingi ka ng deadline, hihingi ka ng extension, o kaya magbablock ka ng picture doon sa profile picture mo. Magdadailan ka na lang. Mali yun. Mali yun, kapatid. Mali yun. Kailangan mong gawin agad. Kasi pag di natin nagawa agad yun, mas lalo tayo matatabuyan ng mga trabaho. Tapos sisisihin natin yung mga teachers natin. So sa mga teachers natin, wala kayong consideration, ang hirap-hirap pag-aral. Eh ang katotohanan yan, hindi ka naman talaga nag-aaral. Nag-ML ka. Nag-ML tayo. Baka kasi nag-ML tayo, baka may ginagawa natin. I mean, guys, don't get me wrong, no? Okay maglaro. Okay lang mag-ML, okay mag-K-drama. Okay yung mga bagay na yon. Okay yon. Pero to the tick, na pagka yung mga bagay na yon, natatabunan na ng mga dapat na ginagawa natin, eh baka may mali. Lahat ng sobra, mali. Kasi hindi natin nagagawa yung totoong purpose natin, hindi natin nagagawa yung talagang important kasi nakapokus tayo dun sa time wasters natin. Nakakain tayo ng oras ng time wasters natin. Okay? Okay lang po maglaro, okay lang po kumain, okay yung mga bagay na yun kasi it feels good to you eh. May mga bagay na nag-motivate sa atin, K-drama tayo. I mean, alam mo yun, kasi nandoon ako eh. Pero kailangan natin maintindihan ano talaga yung importante, ano talaga yung plan mo on that day. Okay? Okay? Wait lang, inom lang water ah. may nagreklamo dito, may mga prof din po kasi OA magbigay ng deadline like 2 days lang. Sino pong prof ninyo? Kainong prof to si Maika? Ako siguro comment ko lang dito. Baka naman din kasi nabigay na yung baka naman kasi talagang alam niyo na yung project. Kasi di naman niya ibibigay ng di niya alam. Nagalit. Okay, let's continue. I hope guys you are learning kasi sabi ko nga sa inyo, isa to sa mga problema ko din dati na tinuturo ko lang sa inyo na para maiwasan nyo na. Okay? Ayan. Number 1, motivate yourself to work on a task with the idea, with the idea that now is the right time to do it. Now is the right time to do it. Now. Hindi no, now. Okay. Number 2, prioritize the task you have to do. Prioritize the task you have to do. Sabi ko nga kanina, Kaya tayo nagpipilis sa time management kasi hindi natin alam yung goal natin, hindi natin alam kung ano yung priority natin. Okay? Sabi nga, lockout is the hardest button to click. Lalo, sa social media, hindi nga tayo nag-logout technically. Open mo lang data mo, open mo lang wifi mo, pagbukas mo ng Facebook, naka-Facebook ka na agad, di ka na nag-logout eh. Di ba? Sobrang hirap kaya, sobrang hirap niyan. Ang hirap mag ayun ang kagaling, ganun ang kagaling si Mark Zuckerberg. Tapos yung Facebook lagi pa nag-update. Yan, alam mo yung nag-notify pa. Mention you in a comment, tag you in a photo. Talagang talagang mahuka, kailangan mo tignan. Di ba? And gawin ang trabaho habang alert ka pa. May tinatawag tayong attention peak or the momentum. Kapag ang isang bagay nasa momentum, actually ang pinakamahirap lang naman sa ang pinakamahirap lang naman sa time na mga bagay na ginagawa ka, yung simula lang naman eh. Pero kapag nasa kalagitnaan ka na, yung nasa nasa momentum ka na, di mo titigilan hangga't di natatapos. And kailangan aware ka doon. Kapag nasa attention peak ka, pag nasa time ng momentum ka, huwag mo titigilan hangga't di mo natatapos. Kasi pag guminto ka, ang hirap kunin yung momentum, promise. Kahit sa tapasin nyo sa basketball, minsan kahit matatalo na, pero nasa attention peak sila, nandun sila sa momentum nila, nanalo pa rin sila. Ganon din sa atin. Kapag may isang bagay na nasa attention peak ka, you are in alert in that moment, huwag mong titigilan hangga't di natatapos. Kasi pag nawala yung momentum mo, ang hirap makabalik doon. Okay? Ayan, iwasan ma-frustrate sa bigat ng trabaho. Ito yung chunking. Sabi ko nga, bagka may mga, bisan din kasi, kaya mabigat yung trabaho natin kasi naipon. Kaya dapat, habang maikli pa, habang konti pa lang yung trabaho, ginagawa na natin. Kasi yung ginagawa rin, konti na, meron naman bukas eh. Meron naman kinabukasan eh. Hindi. Gawin mo agad. Pag di mo ginawa, malalo kang maliligaw. Kaya tayo na-frustrate. Kaya inisip natin ang daming trabaho. Example sa office. Kaya may mga taong nag-overtime kasi yung time na dapat trabaho nila, hindi nila ginawa yung trabaho. Kaya iniisip ng iba na masipag siya. Ang katotohanan niya, hindi na lang yung ginawa nung time may trabaho siya, kaya siya nag-overtime ngayon. Kaya may sinasabi talaga na OTY. I mean, again, sa side to ng talagang dapat ginagawa yung trabaho. Pero naman talagang mga overtime talaga na hindi dapat ginagawa pa ng kasi may mga absent o may mga hindi ginawa yung trabaho nila kaya may nag-overtime. Pero again, kung ikaw nagtatrabaho ka, gawin mo agad trabaho mo para hindi ka mag-overtime. Tapos magreklamo ka OTY. Wag ganon. Wag ganon. Gawin mo agad. Kaya nga di po sinasabi kayo sa chat eh, di ba? Daig ng maagap ang masipag. Pag nagawa mo agad yung trabaho, edi shitty-pretty ka na, may mga time ka na pwedeng gawin. Ako as Kuya Kebs, again, wala akong specific time, hindi definite ang aking oras. Ang main source of income ko is the real estate. Then I have at least 2 or 3 na side hustle. Ngayon, ang ginawa ko, para marami ako para magawa ko ibang businesses ko, yung ibang mga bagay na pinagkakakitaan ko, I make sure na yung real estate ko, kaya ko siyang gawin kahit tulog ako. And I always do is the Pareto principle, the 20-80. Kunyari sa page o kaya doon sa real estate ko, I do my real estate online. And dahil kabisado ko na yung ginagawa ko sa real estate, I have my script na. Alam ko na kung ano itatanong tao sa akin. Ngayon sa page ko, gumawa na ako ng script ko sa mga bawat itatanong nila. O kunyari, nagtanong, Kuya Kebs, magkano ang studio unit? So meron na akong studio unit na ilalapag, naka-save reply na siya, isisend na lang. Tapos, minsan, may gumawa rin ako ng bot chat dun sa page ko. Dahil alam ko na paulit-ulit yung tanong ng tao, dahil pare-pares mo na siyang ginagawa, I do the bot chat na kahit wala ako, kaya kong gawin yon. Kahit wala ako, may sasagot dun sa page kasi alam ko na yung sistema, alam ko na maximize ko na kung ano lagi tinatanong sa akin ng tao. Ngayon, check ko na lang yun kapag mayroong mga tanong na siya na wala dun sa bot chat. Nagets nyo? Ganun din sa ginagawa. Pag alam mo na yung pag na-maximize mo na yung mga bagay na ginagawa, pag paulit-ulit na siya, kaya mo na siyang gawin, kaya mo siya ma-maximize. Kaya makagawa ng iba kasi alam mo na. Okay? Ito, take a break and chillax. Ito nga, sabi ko, reward yourself after a project. Ngayon naman, again, hindi ko naman sinasabi na na yung type bisan, yung mga time wasters natin, yun naman din nagbibigay ng feel good sa atin. Okay? Yun yung mga nagbibigay. Kunyari, manood ka ng movie, mag-K-drama series ka, pero kailangan bigyan mo ng time frame yung sarili mo kung hanggang kailan mo siya gagawin. Ako ang pinaka break ko sa akin is yung magbasa ako ng libro, maglaro ako ng online games, manood ako ng series or magbasa ako. Yun yung mga bagay na na chillax moment ko. So pagka sobrang stress ako, sobrang dami ginagawa, nakaka-stress yung mga tao sa online, napaka-toxic ng mga nag-i-inquire. Ayun, I have to take a break. kailangan ko munang igalaw-galaw yung sarili ko para maintindihan ko na okay. Kailangan ko muna mag-breathe in and breathe out. And remember, never procrastinate. Because the work will never disappear. Alam niyo kasi may iwasan yung trabaho. Mayroon talaga. At di siya mawawala pag di mo siya ginawa. Di mawawala. Di matatapos siya pag di mo tinapos. Di ba? Tapusin. Okay? I hope you're learning, no? Are you with me? Natututo mo ba tayo mga kapatid? Matatapos na ako, konti na lang. Ayan, procrastination. Why do it now? Ayan yung example ng procrastination. Minsan, totoo naman tayo dyan, no? Minsan, konti lang naman yung trabaho, eh. Kaya lang naman dumadaan. Kunyari, yung hugasin. Sa bahay na lang to, ha? Kunyari, yung hugasin. Kung inugasan mo agad yung plato, hindi dadami yung hindi dadami yung hugasin kasi inipon mo. Diba? Kunyari, hugasin sa tanghali, hindi mo inugasan, sasabihin mo mamayang gabi na lang. Kaya mga galit ka, daming hugasan sa gabi. Hindi mo tinabaho yung umaga, hindi mo tinabaho yung hugasin ng tanghali. Kaya naipon. Ganun din sa mga bagay na ginagawa natin. Lalo na kapag nasa nasa workplace ka na, nasa office ka na, mas madami yan. At hindi ka magiging agap, at hindi mo agad ginawa yun, lalo ka matatabunan. Promise, lalo ka matatabunan. Okay? Ito, quick tip din to. Ayon to kay Stephen Covey. 7 habits of highly effective people. I will end on this, di ba? Okay. Nawala ako. Wait lang, nawala ata ako. Ayan. Okay. So meron tinatawag si Stephen Covey sa time management matrix. Meron tinatawag na 4 na quadrant. Ayan. Yung 4 na quadrant na to, ito, mas mag-guess nyo kung bakit marami tayo marami pagkakataon, di natin na-manage yung time natin. Yung sa taas is the urgent and not urgent, and sa baba, sa side naman is important and not important. Okay? Sa quadrant 1, ayan. Sa quadrant 1, ito yung quadrant of demand. Ito yung crisis, pressing problems, dead-end projects. Okay, yun yung quadrant 1. Okay, sa quadrant 2, the important and not urgent is the quadrant of the zone. Ito yung the planning, ito yung prevention, ito yung relationship building, new opportunities, learning and developing. Okay, yung quadrant 3, not important pero urgent. Ito yung quadrant of illusion, interruption, some call, mail, some meetings, pressing matters without impact on popular activities. Ito yung mga tawag, ito yung mga bagay na biglang may tumatawag sa'yo, di na importante, tatawag yung friend sa'yo, tapos pupunta ka sa quadrant 4, which is the quadrant of escape. Trivia, busy work, time wasters, private calls, internet surfing, recent activities. Alright? Ngayon, ano dapat ginagawa natin? Paano mo dapat identify yung mga bagay na trabaho natin on this quadrant? Okay? Sa quadrant 1, kapag important and urgent, okay, do them now. Again, do them now. Do them now. Pag bukas, ngayon, urgent nga, important pa, di ba? So important, not urgent. Ano dapat dyan? Plan ahead. Sabi ko nga kanina, if you are not planning and then you are planning to fail. Okay? Not important and urgent, say no or delegate the job. Say no or delegate the job. All right? And lastly, not important and not urgent, avoid or delay doing it. Ano dapat ang ginagawa na sa 4 quadrant na to? Pag na-identify mo sa quadrant na to, yung mga bagay na gagawin mo dapat, mas may hindi ka mahihirapan. The question is, sa tingin nyo, ano dyan ang pinaka-important? Ano dapat may tutuunan natin ng pansin dyan sa 4 quadrant na yan? Okay? Yan. The most important quadrant is the quadrant 2. Bakit? Hindi ka pupunta sa quadrant 1, kapatid. Hindi ka mapupunta sa quadrant 1 kung nakapag-planning ka, na plan ahead mo yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo ay natapos mo agad. Okay? Kasi marami pagkakataon, busy tayo, pero hindi tayo productive. Kasi hindi po lahat ng busy productive. Again, hindi po lahat ng busy productive. Kala natin yung ginagawa natin, busy tayo, importante, pero hindi naman talaga. Okay? As you spend more time for quadrant 2, you will lessen time for other quadrants. Sabi ko nga, hindi ka pupunta sa quadrant 1 kung natapos mo lahat ng quadrant 2. At wala ka magiging time sa quadrant 3 and 4 pag tinatapos mo yung quadrant 2. Okay? Parang ganito siya. Ang symptom, ayan, yung agent important, kaya nagkakaroon ng quadrant 1 kasi yung quadrant 3 and 4, yan yung cause. May mga bagay ka, may mga agent not important at may mga not agent at not important na ginagawa ka. Okay? At ang pure lang yan is quadrant 2. If you say no to quadrant 3, then alam mo yung gagawin mo on the quadrant 2. Mako-clear mo lahat ng problema sa quadrant 1 kung quadrant 2 pa lang nagawa mo na agad. Again, mga kapatid, hindi porket busy ka, productive ka. Kailangan natin gawin kung ano yung dapat natin gawin. 'Di ba? Sabi nga ni Dwight Eisenhower, former US President, sabi niya, what is important is seldom urgent and what is urgent is seldom important. Again, mga kapatid, mga student o kung ano man ginagawa yun sa buhay, at mga kapatid na bagong gagraduate pa lang at magkakaroon ng work o may mga work na entrepreneur and everything, pag ginawa na natin yung part natin, ginawa natin yung mga bagay na dapat ginagawa natin, hindi tayo matatabunan ng trabaho. Kaya marami na po-frustrate, kaya marami na de-depress kasi ang dami na ang ginagawa, hindi pa nila agad ginawa, tapos ngayon manili sila ng ibang tao. Again, mga kapatid, daig ng maagap ang masipag. Alright, so I hope you've learned. Hey, Kuya Kebs, kung meron kayong mga question, you can directly PM me sa aking Facebook account, sa aking YouTube channel. Pwede mo akong PM. And maraming salamat po. God bless po sa lahat. Yo.
Yes, thank you very much to our final speaker, Mr. Kevin Parungao. At sa ating first 2 speakers, Mr. Dave Vincent Mangilet and Mr. Mark Brainard Gregorio. Again, maraming salamat po for sharing your knowledge. For sure, marami tayong natutunan on how to manage our time. And now, I know na sobrang excited na kayong itanong ang inyong mga questions sa ating mga speakers. So, you may now post your questions in the chat box of our Zoom and to our FB Live, and our 2 speakers will definitely answer it for you. Ayan po, si Sir Kevin and si Sir Dave Vincent Mangilet. I mean, Mark Brainard Gregorio. Sorry. Thank you. Meron na po tayong nakikitang question dito, sir. How do you delegate an important assignment to others while ensuring that it will be completed successfully?
All right, thank you for the wonderful question.
Ano pa in order niyo?
Okay. How do you delegate? Ako kasi pa nag-delegate ako, bago ko mag-delegate ng task sa isang tao, I make sure natulungan ko siya.
Isa lang?
Naturuan ko siya.
Dalawa?
Okay, so pag
ubusin yun,
naturuan mo na yung tao, naturuan mo na yung tao dun sa bagay na task niya, then kaya mo na siyang pagkatiwalaan dun. Okay, bago ka mag-delegate, you make sure naturuan mo na yung tao. Kasi hindi mo naman i-delegate sa kanya, for sure naman, no, na hindi mo i-delegate sa kanya yung assignment na hindi mo siya naturuan on that or hindi ka komportable na magagawa niya yon. Kasi kailangan ng kung magkamali man siya kasi kailangan mo ng kailangan mo ng assistant eh. Pag di mo na delegate sa kanya o hindi mo siya pagkakatiwalaan o kung magkamali man siya, and then mas gagalingan niya next time. Kailangan lang natin pagtiwalaan yung tao. Kailangan natin pagtiwalaan yung sino man yung pagkakatiwalaan natin on that task. Ayun.
Thank you for that, sir. Now, hanap pa po tayo ng question. Ito pa po, coming from Sara Alcantara. Jem, please. Successful people at some point in time burn the midnight oil to get where they are. That said, how important are sleep habits in productivity?
Sir Mark, sige po, kaya niyo po yan. Puyat po ako eh.
Actually, to answer that question, that's a very good question po, no? So, sleep is very important, number one. It is very important because, syempre, it makes you function kung paano ba talaga dapat. So, you have to, I know na may mga task tayo, let's say, umaabot siya ng gabi, but hindi naman maiiwasan yun. But for me, please find time to take time to rest. Naiintindihan natin na may mga other commitments po tayo. Naiintindihan natin. Dito papasok yung managing time is a choice. So if you choose to take yourself for a rest, or if you decide na mag-give time sa rest, it will be very important, especially when it comes to productivity. So if you have the chance, please take care of yourself. Lalo na ngayon, we need to enhance our immune system. So we really have to make sure that we take time and yung mga task nga na i-divide mo. For example, medyo swamped ka today, please prioritize your task. Kung ano ba yung kung pwede mo siyang itawid for the next day, if pwede mo siyang magawa after getting enough rest. So, yeah. Again, sleep is very important.
Okay, thank you, sir. Additional question from BSE45, Mary Shell Trinchera. Paano daw po, sir, kung halimbawa na kailangan mo i-delegate ang task pero hindi naman niya nagawa ng maayos?
Sorry po. I think Jem is having technical issues. Ito po yung question na binanggit ni Jem. Paano sir kung halimbawa na kailangan mo i-delegate ang task pero hindi naman niya nagagawa ng
Alright.
maayos?
So again, sabi ko nga kanina, kailangan mo siyang coach and teach pa din. Kasi kailangan mo paano siya matututo kung di mo siya pagde-delegate ng task? Trust pa din siya eh. Trust issue pa din siya eh. Kasi kung kung siya lang yung nandoon at wala kang choice, kung siya lang yung nandoon, kailangan mo siyang turuan. Pag di mo tinuruan, mas lalong hindi niya magagawa ng maayos yun. Kasi again, sabi ko nga, hindi mo i-delegate sa kanya yung tao kung pili mo din niya yung magagawa. And pili mo kung siya lang yung tao kung siya lang yung pwedeng tumulong sa iyo on that, kailangan mo siyang turuan. Kasi mas lalo ka mapoprostrate. 'Di ba? Mapoprostrate ka lalo, hindi mo naman nagawa ng maayos, ganyan. O kaya ayaw mo pagawa sa kanya kasi so mapoprostrate ka. All you have to do is to teach them. Ano yung dapat na ginagawa niya on that? Ano yung dapat para magawa niya ng maayos? Kung attitude ang problema niya, ituro mo sa kanya yung dapat. Kung skills ang niya, anong dapat ituro mo? By hand. Kasi hindi lahat ng, kunyari, ako as personally, Kuya Kims, hindi ako ang aking learning style is, kailangan nakikita ko siya by hand. Pero dahil pandemic, I have to study yung mga bagay na kailangan kong gawin kahit online at sobrang hirap mag-adjust. So ako, kaya ako, ang ginawa ko is, kailangan ko siyang aralin, kailangan ko siya ituro, kailangan kong i-adjust yung time na yon. At sasabihin ko sa kanya pag kaya ko na. And para magawa niya ng tama, dapat paulit-ulit niyang ginagawa. Kunyari ito, yung pagsasalita para sa maraming tao, hindi naman ako ganito galing magsalita nung sisimula ako eh. Kailangan lagi ko siyang ginagawa. Pag lagi mo siyang ginagawa, nakakabisado mo siya, at pag nakakabisado mo siya, mas nagagawa mo siya ng tama.
Yun. Thank you for that, sir. Ito pa po. Jem?
Okay, from De Leon Lealin, how to gauge productivity? It is based on the number of number of tasks or the quality of accomplished tasks.
Ulitin po natin ang question. How to gauge productivity? Is it based on the number of accomplished tasks or the quality of the accomplished tasks? Ano po ba? Number or quality of accomplished tasks?
Sorry, I think that's for me, no. So for project management, actually, it is being measured both. So yung quality of delivery and then the number of accomplished tasks that you have covered. So say for example, you're working in a project, kailangan you should be able to reach a certain number of delivery as well as the quality of what you've delivered. Kasi let's put in an example. Let's say nagde-deliver po tayo ng project. Let's say magbi-build po tayo ng building. Kailangan kailangan ma-reach natin yung certain number of buildings na kailangan i-build based sa client requirement. And hindi naman po tayo pwede mag-submit ng building na hindi quality and approved. So in a project, it goes hand in hand. Kailangan din po natin bukod sa numbers of accomplished tasks, kailangan din po at quality, kailangan din po tignan kung na-deliver po ba natin siya on time. So yun yung top 3 things na tinitignan natin in project management. Number of accomplished tasks, that's number 1. Number 2 is gaano natin kabilis din-deliver. And then lastly, and it's very important, is the quality of what you have delivered.
Yes. Thank you for that, Sir Mark. Ito po, may another question pa po kay Sir Mark. Pag nagplan pa po ba tayo ng work, halimbawa po sa Gantt chart, need pa po ba na include na rin po ang potential risk at task?
Yes, hindi sa actually it will be part on the first step sa project initiation document. So sa start pa lang, as a project leader, you should be able to identify the potential risk already before creating your Gantt chart. So ang Gantt chart po kasi is ito na po yung final ng gagawin ninyo at susundin ninyo. So before doing your Gantt chart, you should be able to identify the potential risk of the project. Balik tayo sa example po natin ng naggagawa po tayo ng building. So, pag gagawa tayo ng building, ito po yung mga list of risk na pwedeng mangyari sa mga potential na mga roadblocks natin. So, number 1, ito. Number 2, ito. Dapat nandun pa lang po siya sa first part ng document before po tayo mag-proceed sa paggawa ng timeline or ng Gantt chart natin. Kasi doon na natin i-breakdown na, let's say, gagawin na po let's say, gagawin na yung elevator, ito yung mga potential risks na nalista natin dun sa first document. So, mauna po muna sa project initiation document si potential risk and then i-align po natin siya sa Gantt chart while creating your timeline.
Yun. Thank you po, Sir Mark. Last question po, and if you have other questions, you may just message our speakers directly. Pwede nyo pong mga speakers, pwede nyo pong i-post dito ang inyong email or ang inyong mga FB page or inyong mga social media platform para po masendan din nila kayo ng mga questions po. So ito po ang ating last question. Paano or ano po ba ang magandang gawin kung kung isang team marami yung umaasa sa gawa ng iilan, bahala na sila system ata yun, to the point na magawa lang yung job kahit mali or kulang, oo na lang, wag lang sila gumawa. Paano po mapapaintindi sa kanila yung impact nun sa time management? Kasi in the end, kailangan ulitin yung job na yun.
Tanggalin. Tanggalin yung team. Hindi, kung ano ba? Kasi parang parang kasi kunyari example, hindi ko kasi alam kung anong context nitong nagtanong Alam mo yun? Hindi ko kasi alam kung sino. Hello Leonida, hindi ko alam kung anong context ng question mo, no? Pero kasi kaya tayo nagkaroon ng team, 'di ba? Kunyari gumawa tayo ng thesis. Meron tayong specific job on that. Kunyari ikaw dito ka sa sa documentation. Ikaw dito ka sa may system. Ikaw dito sa meron tayong specific task. Hindi pwede na papagawa mo na siya sa ilang tao kasi pag ganun na ginawa, edi siya na lang dapat binigyan ng grade. Nagets mo? So, kapag di niya ginawa yung task niya, mas lalo magagawa. Ako as a leader, no, kung di niya kayang gawin yan, aalisin ko siya. Kasi grades nating tong lahat. at kung kung hindi siya magpa-participate dun sa job na kailangan niyang gawin, edi wag na lang. Kukuha ko na iba, sasabihin ko talaga sa prof ko na, sir, hindi siya gumagawa. Anong gagawin ko dito? Ngayon, kung gagawin niya, mag-uusap kami, kung di niya talaga magawa, then I have to let go. Kasi hindi ko iaasa, lalo na kung may deadline kayong hinahabol. Hindi niya magagawa nung on time. Kasi ang sacrifice niya hindi lang ikaw as a leader, kundi yung buong team. Kasi team kayo hindi naman solo yan eh. Gumawa niya sarili niya. 'Di ba? So hindi ako personally siguro I'm on top on that, no. Siguro pero kasi I have to understand din na hindi lang siya yung hindi lang kami mag-adjust para sa kanya. Kung di niya kayang gawin, ano ipapagawa natin sa kanya? Ano yung dapat na lang niyang gawin? Okay? Sorry, no? Baka wahin mo ako. Pero siguro, PM mo na lang ako regarding that.
Maraming salamat po, sir.
Yes, sorry. Can I add something to that question po? So, yun. So, I agree with what Kevin said earlier. Pero para hindi na, for me lang po, this is just a personal opinion. If you are the leader of the project, siguro hindi na tayo darating dun sa part na yun if umpisa pa lang po is we set the right expectations. So let's say let's say for example, 5 po tayo sa project team po natin or 5 po tayo sa thesis or sa project. As a project leader, you have to make sure sa Zoom nga may house rules tayo, sa thesis pa po kaya, 'di ba? So we have to set our project house rules. So let's say i-assign kita dito, kapag hindi mo 'to nagawa, ito yung mga possible na mangyari. So para hindi na po tayo umabot dun sa magkakaroon pa kasi ng conflict po yun eh. Yun yung iniiwasan natin. Conflict within the project team. So as early as kasama po yan, babalik po tayo dun sa risk management analysis po natin, dun sa document number 1 na you have to be able to anticipate na there is a possibility na magkakaroon ng conflict sa team, and as early as the start of the project, you should be able to set the right expectations na this is what will happen if hindi mo na-deliver yung i-assign sa'yo. So it is very siguro have a nice approach during your initial discussion. Syempre may initial discussion yan for thesis and all. So that's just for me. I agree with what Kevin said, pero mas maganda na hindi na kayo umabot doon. So early expectations na po tayo.
Amen, amen.
Okay, thank you guys for all your interesting questions. And for additional questions, pakicheck na lang po ang ating Zoom chat box. Nilagay na po ni Sir Kevin at Sir Mark yung kanilang details para sa additional questions po. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Mark Parungaw and Mr. Mark Brainerd Gregorio, for sharing your thoughts and knowledge about the topic for today. At this time, we would like to present our Certificate of Recognition. And toward the Certificate of Recognition, may I call on our Program Chair of Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, Professor Jerome P. Dumlao. Sir Jerome.
Good morning once again.
Once again, sir.
The PUP Open University System Institute of Open and Distance Education BS Entrepreneurship award the Certificate of Recognition to Mr. Mark Brainerd Gregorio, in grateful acknowledgement of his academic engagement and insightful academic contribution as resource speaker, imparting unparalleled knowledge and expertise during the webinar The Art of Time Management, given this 24th day of July 2021, signed by Diana Lee Tracy K. Chan, Quality Assurance and OJT Coordinator, yours truly, Program Chair of the BSN Entrepreneurship, and Dr. Rosemary Betardizon, the Director of the Institute of Open and Distance Education. And the same is written for Mr. Kevin Parungaw. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Maraming
Thank you
salamat po.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Jay. At sa lahat po na nagtatanong about our certificate, we will provide one as long as you are registered and done answering our feedback form, which will be pinned in our chat box here in our Zoom and on comment section on Facebook Live. Also, kindly wait for around 5 working days for the certificate to be sent out to your email. The evaluation link will be open 24 hours, so you will still have a lot of time answering it. But make sure finish it within that time frame para sure po na makareceive tayo ng certificates. And also, double check din po natin yung ating email na i-register tsaka po yung ating full name para wala po tayong mali. Okay, technical, kindly please pin our evaluation link. And now, please let me hand over the closing remarks to our very own, the Director of Institute of Open and Distance Education, our beautiful Dr. Rose Maribeth R. Dizon.
Thank you. Isang umuulan ng pagpapalang umaga po sa ating lahat. On behalf of our University President, Dr. Manuel M. Muhi, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Emmanuel C. Guzman, and of course, our Executive Director, Dr. Carmencita L. Castolo, I would like to thank our speakers, Mr. Dave Vincent Mangilet, Mr. Mark Brainerd Gregorio, and Mr. Kevin Parungaw for very informative and inspiring talk on time management. Na-sign out ba ako? Hindi naman.
Yes, ma'am.
Nandiyan pa ako?
Yes po, connected pa rin po.
Okay. So time management is one of the most common issues concerning productivity under normal circumstances. But we are operating in strange times due to the COVID-19 pandemic in which majority are working remotely or on a work from home arrangement. Thus, time management becomes more challenging when you're surrounded by other responsibilities at home. Aside from our studies, our kids, household chores, pets, husband or wife, parents, siblings, all of which may be competing for your attention throughout the workday. Some of us overcorrect for this distraction, working longer and later into the night, a habit that can lead to faster burnout. Thank you, our esteemed speakers, for your tips on how we could effectively manage our time and be productive. Staying focused, prioritizing, setting your goals and objectives, planning, scheduling, the art of saying no, identifying time wasters, setting quality me time, that procrastination is a no-no, that delegation is choosing the right person for the right task, just to name a few. Also, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us this morning and sharing with us not only your insights and expertise on the topic, but your precious family day. The PUPOUS family would also like to thank all of you for participating in this event. Those who are in the Zoom meeting room and those joining us via FB Live, especially those who are attending the webinar series from day one as part of your OJT activity, and also those from other schools and offices here and abroad. Amidst the pandemic and bad weather, we have once again proven that learning should not be hindered by limitations of the current situation. I would like to express my appreciation and congratulations to the team behind this activity, BS Antrop Port 3, headed by Professor Ronalu San Pedro. Also, thank you and congratulations to the BS Antrop Program Chair, Professor Jerome P. Dumblao, our OJT and Accreditation Coordinator, Dr. Diana Lee Tracy K. Chan, Professor Caroline S. Mateo, sa masisipag at magagaling nating OUS staff and BS Antrop course specialists. Maraming salamat po sa patuloy na suporta na binibigay nyo sa OUS. Nawa ay pagpalain tayo at pakaingatan ng ating poong may kapal. Muli, isang punong-puno ng pagpapalang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rose Maribeth Ardison, for your wonderful message. And now, may I request all the participants to kindly turn on again our cameras for picture taking. On again for picture taking.
Ready po? 1, 2, 3. Okay po, next slide po. Ready po? Thank you po. Okay po, next slide po. Thank you po.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you po. We would also like to put the spotlight to our program chair, Sir Jay Dumlao. Hello po, Sir Jay, ang ating gwapong-gwapong Sir Jay. Thank you po.
Gwapo talaga. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We always say that the PP Open University is all about second chances. And now that you've grabbed the opportunity, that particular second chance, now that second chance open opportunities for you. At the same time, the Open University is about opening opportunities for you once you grab the chance to study again. Konti na lang. August 24 is the target date. This is one more step taken nearer to our graduation, and then hopefully after that we study again. The MBA program is open, and a lot of other programs in the Open University. We have the public ad, we have all the other graduate programs. Walang makapigil sa inyo kundi kayo lamang. So, nandun po ang opportunity, nandito po lahat yan. Let us grab the opportunity to develop ourselves and enhance ourselves to make our lives better. Maraming pong salamat.
Yes, maraming salamat po, Sir Jay. Jem, for the POP hymn.
Okay, thank you everyone. Now let us give a sense of belonging, comradeship, pride, and loyalty to our Sintang Paaralan for singing the hymno ng PUP.
Sintang Paaralan, Kanlaukan ng bayan, Kanlayan ang isip ng kabataan. Kami ay dumating ng salat sa yaman, anak na dunong ay iyong alay. Ang layunin mo, makataong inarama.
Yes. And before we end this webinar, we would also like to thank all the attendees of this webinar, of course, our fellow schoolmates, especially the members of all the committees, the technical program, evaluation, e-certificates, invitation, and documentation committee. Again, thank you very much for all your effort and your hard work. Maraming salamat. To our practicum advisors, maraming salamat po. To our beautiful Professor Quality Assurance and OJT Coordinator, Ms. Diana Lee Tracy Chan, for guiding us. Thank you so much. To our Core Specialist, Professor Roda Lu San Pedro. To our beloved Dr. Cheryl Espinosilla. Of course, sa ating program chair, kay Sir Jerome Dumlao. Maraming salamat po. And also to our Director DE Director Rosemary Beth Dizon, maraming salamat po. At syempre, sa aming guardian angel na si Professor Julie Palma for helping us all throughout the webinars that we organize. Sobrang maraming salamat po. This webinar will not be successful kung wala po ang guidance ninyo sa amin. So from the bottom of our hearts, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Okay? And on behalf of PUP Open University Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship Batch 2021, we thank you so much to everyone who has attended the Art of Time Management webinar. My name is Aldrin.
And I am Jem.
Na nagpapaalala na we're still in the middle of pandemic, kaya kahit saan, kahit kailan, always wear mask, laging maghugas ng kamay, and always follow the health protocol, which is social distancing.
Tama. At lumabas lamang ng bahay kung may importanteng lakad para COVID-19 ay maiwasan. Once again, thank you everyone and keep safe.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Bye, Ma'am Beth. Maraming salamat.
Thank you po sa lahat ng mga
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Carol,
Thanks, Ma'am Beth. Sir
God
Jay,
bless.
salamat po. Thank you, Ma'am Beth. Salamat po.
I'll see you
Thank you
later.
po sa ating mga resource speakers.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Ma'am Jules, salamat ng marami.
Joe, maraming salamat.
Ma'am Jules, thank you. Ma'am Carol, Ma'am Spine, Ma'am Rona.
Fine, hello.